Alrighty, guys. So,
I wanted to start it off right.
with just a random fuck. Fantastic. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Dark side of the force.
Yes.
Got all my
Alright.
lights red. We're ready to go.
Alright, let's do this shit. So let me get this going. Ta-da! Alrighty. So we will start this session. Then you had just finished some various discussions with the crew of the Peachy Keen, went to bed, all was normal. As you awaken, you are no longer on the Peachy Keen. It has been 10 years since your journey with the Peachy Keen croon.
Oh, yeah, the Peachy Keen of dirt.
Peachy Keen crew.
Yeah, them. Those motherfuckers. It has been a decade since you first began to travel with them.
Oh, wows.
Since then, members of the crew have disappeared or fallen or just are untraceable. The Peachy Keen was destroyed, and as you escaped it, you were urged by Io to go find his twin brother to continue in your ever-spanning quest of trying to defeat Isaidus and just end everything once and for all. But once again, after finding yourself finally comfortable with this crew, this ragtag family that you have found, you find yourself alone all over again. It is just you, your blades, and now just this pilot that you don't even know trying to find your way to Isaidus and just end this once and for all so that you could finally have that peace back. As you awaken, you find yourself in the familiar bed that is your room on the Ebony Cobra. Sjorn's personal craft. You have just landed to set up a meeting to, again, try to take out Isaidus. And again, you're all alone. You're facing this battle solo. You don't know where the rest of the crew has gone. Io, Del, Mira, they're not by your side right now.
Okay.
Okay. I have a little bit different than that, but yeah. I was going to add a little bit to that part.
I was going to say, you take over whenever you're ready.
So, almost the same, yeah. So then, as she said, you find yourself 10 years later returning to the old ways of bringing yourself in your solitude. Meditating upon the many failures that have come since the time the Peachy Keen came together. It was a time of hope. It was a time of promise in the light side. But in the 10 years past has just been hurt and pain and destruction. And you have gone down a spiral of guilt, of blame, of anger. First offensive plan that you guys formed as the Peachy Keen was Revan's idea. She had convinced you to go on the offensive against Isaidus. During that offensive that she had started up, you guys had attempted to go after Yara. During that battle, you had given your concerns for her to join you, with her children and all. You guys were not expecting a certain warrior to be joining Yara at the time. That is when Sojourn had shown up, and Revan had fallen along with her children during that fight.
Ooh.
Coming back from that, the Peachy Keen had reeled in retreat. Prior to the battle, Revan had discovered as Drea was being raised that she also was force sensitive, and had begun training her a little bit as her apprentice. Del, you didn't take her death lightly. Revan's, that is. You continually wanted and was obsessed with revenge. To avenge Revan's falling. Drea had become quite the warrior at your side. And again, Ven, you tried to convince him not to go, but in the middle of the night, Del and Drea had left. Again, trying to take the offensive to Isaidus. The rest of the Peachy Keen, Viri, Io, and Ven, you realized that he was missing halfway through the night and came in as a rescue mission to try and give him backup. During that fight, you were confronted by Sith. As you remember in the written story, as you guys attacked one of the factories that was associated to the Starforge. As you guys attempted to escape, Del, your dear daughter, fell in battle, and you were overcome. And then you were just able to escape and keep Viri and Io safe, as you could see them dragging Del's and Drea's bodies away. Continually found yourself becoming more and more conservative, not willing to take the fight to them, to keep the only people you had control over to keep safe. Viri, having been quite the rash and reckless one, your relationship started cracking, and there was much angst among the crew that was left. And among Io, as Io had secluded to his cabin with the actions of his brother. Viri had gotten a message from Yara and was convinced to follow into a plan that was set, a trap set to plan to trap them. So just as before, as Del had snuck out in the middle of the night, so had Viri. This time, as you came to a rescue mission, an odd ship came out of nowhere, invisible, and had revealed itself, and Io was unable to turn the ship out of the way before a EMP missile hit the ship. And all you remember is waking up in a destruction of fire of the ship. You were just able to escape, not sure of Io's survival, and were never able to recontact Viri again. So you brought yourself to Elam. You had found a ship. You found a pilot, the Ebon Cobra, and one of a robot pilots that had been set up in the system that you are around. So you've been on Elam meditating back on these events. As just like she said, you wake up to a beeping message, a signal saying that you're receiving a message in contact at the helm of the ship. What do you do?
I really fast. Rob was asking what happened to Mira. Did she disappear at some point too? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Never
no,
mind.
they're getting to it. Never mind.
Oh, okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure for context if I knew anything.
Nope.
I was
okay.
locked in the chat.
Okay,
Never
cool.
mind.
Okay,
I got
so
you.
beeping message. Is it like? Yeah, sure. I'll look.
And yeah, Rob, you did say Mira had never escaped from the governor, right?
I was playing this like as an alternate version where
Yep.
she had not. Yeah.
So Mira
That's true.
Mira has never been part of the Peachy Keen.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. Okay.
We will get to her, don't worry.
Okay.
So coming out of your meditation, it's been like this for quite a few years. Your meditation has been rocky, been exhausting. You've been doubting what you've been led to. You've been doubting the decisions you've made. You've been doubting and finding anger in yourself at what you blame yourself for, knowing Isaidus has done this. Isaidus, sorry, has done all of this to get to you. And so your meditation for the past few years has been interrupted and twisted. You have a lot of cracks with your connection to the Force. You go up and answer the intercom, right?
Yes.
Your heart stops beating for a second as you almost knew the voice that would come over the speakers as who it would be. Done, darling. You hear me?
Oh. It's you.
Of course it is. You don't think I haven't been keeping an eye on you?
What do you want?
Look, I know, don't mean you any harm. None of this has been to hurt you. It's been to free you, show you the truth. You know that. Look, come. I'm inviting you. Come to the coordinates that I'm sending you now. I promise you, you are free to leave whenever you want. I just want to show you what I've done here. You join me?
Why now?
What do you have to lose?
No, I'm asking you why now.
I've done it. I've found the power and created the path that I promised to you that I would make. I'm just moments away from it. I want to share this with you. It's all been for you.
I missed the last sentence you said. Sorry.
The intergalactic, we are sending this quite far away. My texts have been tweaking it to get it to you. You are quite the sneaky one. Darling, it's all for you. Please. If you don't, I promise your friends will be safe. You hear a bit of rattling chain and what you recognize as a burst of lightning come from the background, and you hear your Padawan screaming in pain.
I didn't laugh in character. Mark just came in at a really awkward moment.
If you don't care, I can kill her now. I'll free up a cell. That's fine.
Mark's just staring at me as he's slowly closing the door. I'm so sorry. Okay.
You've taught her well, then. But even no one can withstand this much torture. Look, I'm trying to free her from the lies you've taught her. I'm trying to teach you and bring you to the truth. Or don't come, but know this is all for you.
How long have you had her?
Since you gave her to me.
Out of character, just roughly, if you have an estimate.
5 years.
5 years.
Well, no, 5 years since Dell, probably about 2 years since Veer.
2 years since Veer. Okay. So, what if I don't come? What's your threat? Are you going to kill her?
I have uses for her. I have uses for all your friends, crew, disciples. That's what you call them.
Fine. I want them back when I come.
Of course. You can have whatever you want. You hear like this excitement in his voice, the almost boyish like excitement of seeing you again is bubbling through his demeanor. Good. I have missed you, Fen.
Is that all?
Then I will see you soon.
Sorry, did you hear me?
Oh, sorry, I guess it cut off.
Okay, I just said, is that all? Is that all
Always
now?
quick to the point, Fen. That is all for now. And,
Ben just hangs up.
Yeah. On the other side, did she hung? She did hung up. Okay. Yeah. It's not a signal. No. All right. Good. So yeah, he sent the coordinates to you. Angie, did we decide on the name of the planet that he's on?
I think we toyed with the idea of either Mustafar or something else, but let's just bullshit it.
Well, Mustafar it is.
Mustafa. I like it because it has moose in it.
Mustafar. But yeah, so you notice the coordinates are Mustafar, and you're easily able to direct the robot pilot as you have employed him because you could be fully solo from any other contact.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, but it's an easy hyperdrive skip around the corner. But yeah, you could easily go there. He'd given you the coordinates, or you can do whatever you want. Just derail the one shot, whatever you want to do.
How mean. Yeah, I want to go to Tatooine and hang out there. Go to the bar.
Right. Well,
All right, let's
shit.
change the maps. All right, cool. His face was on Tatooine the whole time. I knew you would kill
Yeah,
me.
there you
Adele.
go. That's some quick info. Yes,
Do
I will
it.
go to the coordinates.
Do it.
Perfect. Yeah, as the ship, and this is probably one of the probably the second fastest ship you've ever been on, but it's definitely the stealthiest. These were all of the credits that Veery, Dell, and Io had been hoarding that you had taken over, and so you were able to
We
quite
didn't have
easily
Mira
buy
to
whatever
spend
you
all the
want.
money.
Exactly. You were quite the frugal spender at the time.
Whoa now. Whoa now.
So yeah, as the
Shots
ship
fired.
comes out of hyperspeed, you had taken the trip to. You kind of fought it, but the memories of training with him, falling in love with him. Raro, who did we lose? Who did we lose?
It was just Groovy Bot. It's fine.
Okay. I was like, no. His the wedding, and then seeing his slow descent into the dark side. That's kind of all that you can focus on, as much as you try and distract yourself and move yourself about the ship. The curiosity and also the angst, the anxiety of seeing him face to face again is kind of taking you over. But as the ship starts to enter atmosphere, the clouds and atmosphere is covered with dark smoke, and The ship ends up taking you over many rivers of lava and mountains, but there is just the edge of one of the mountains that opens into one of the few forests on the planet. And you see a large landing pad that enters into what looks like a makeshift, maybe like a research base that looks like it's been constructed there, that starts leading into the mountain itself. So yeah, as you land the ship, the landing ramp comes down, and you gather yourself, grab your weapons, and walk out to the welcoming entrance, and which would be up in like this area up here.
Ping again, please.
Up at the top.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, the ship would land in that area. This would be like the main entrance.
Okay.
Walking out, you see one figure, curvy, blue-skinned, and behind this figure, 10 large robed robots, each with vibro blades that look to be constructed as some sort of soldiers, Jedi, force-capable fighters. Angie, why don't you describe your character?
I shall. As Mike said, she's a very curvy, blue-skinned, humanoid-looking, but with piercing, pure red eyes. She is a chiss. She is wearing a rather form-fitting suit of red with a black cloak. You are able to tell that she emanates force signature. She is a force sensitive. And let me show you what she looks like. There she is.
Ooh.
She looks nice.
She's a very pretty lady.
Dead ass, though.
Darth
Deadass.
Oreo.
And she just kind of has her arms crossed at her chest as she's watched your ship come in. And as you walk down the landing pad and see her, she immediately raises a hand. And the droids behind her stop. And she just looks at you very firmly and almost like she's sour upon seeing you. And she just smoothly goes, "So, you must be the one we're waiting for."
I guess I am.
Well,
And you are.
she just gives you this smirk like, "Oh, you haven't heard of me."
I
She
hate her
just-
already. Good.
She just kind of gives a mocking bow, like she's mocking the way of the Jedi. And she just goes, "Darth Moria, apprentice to Lord Isaidus, at your service." And you can tell there's just sarcasm at that last line. Before her arms go back into the crossing of the chest. Seems to be her posture of choice.
So Ven just has like no expression, and she just is like, "All right, I'm sure you know who I am."
"Oh, I know who you are. I know who you are. He's waiting for us. And he's not a very patient man, so
In
I
that case,
suppose.
maybe I should take my time.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're gonna move at my master's pace. He has important things to do, and it would be rude to make him wait."
Probably better to get this over with. Let's go.
As you step forward, beginning to follow her, the first robot comes up and puts a hand out. "I am sorry. You must go forward in constraints. Security protocol."
"Oh, I don't think that'll be entirely necessary, do you?"
Is the security protocol. Given. We must obey.
Very well.
The second robot steps up to acquire your weapon, Ven.
Oh, okay. So they just want to take my weapon, or
That's what the
Okay.
second robot is stepping up to do.
oh, okay. I'll just look at her and say, or look at Moria and say, he's already threatened people that I know. I'm not going to do anything. You might as well just go ignore this.
I mean, in my master's defense, you did try to come after him, so he's a little hesitant to trust. I'm sure you can understand.
Please, sir or madam, your weapon.
Okay, I'll give it.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. He takes the weapon, and the first robot moves to put shackles on your arms, your wrists behind you. You look at them; they definitely look like shackles you can break free of, but they are shackles nonetheless.
Okay. Can I just is the door open right now?
To the
Into
base,
the building?
No.
No. Okay.
Look around. It definitely very much looks high tech. Very
Okay.
much, as almost everything here seems automated.
Okay. And how many droids are in the front? How many droids are in the front?
10.
10? Okay.
Yeah.
So a good amount. Okay. I'll say I'm not doing that though. Do you want damage to your droids? Or do you want to just go in and talk?
Robot kind of looks back and forth between you, but at this, the protocol was written by him, the Lord himself. And there's a sense of
Poor
like
droid.
sentience to it. Yeah, it's just like I don't know what to do.
Moria's just kind of standing there, like examining her nails, and she just kind of offhandedly goes, "He doesn't exactly like his toys to be messed with, so I would bear a sense of caution before damaging his precious droids. I don't want to have to clean up the mess that he'll make."
Protocol 557. We cannot enter automated lockdown procedure until visitors have been shackled.
So
You do see the other 8 slowly starting to form a U around you.
Can I can do force push with 5. Can I just like
Oh shit.
force push 5 of them against the wall?
Yeah, so
Like
as
slam them and
yeah, for sure. As you lift of one hand, one half of the robots go flying. The one that was at your side starts going flying. But before you can even react, you feel a shock in your back as the second droid that was near you on the other side gives you a quick shock and disorients you. And you are seemingly incapable to kind of move into your secondary action as he quickly puts the shackles on you.
mean. Okay.
But yeah, I'd say 3 of the droids don't get up, but the other 2, though pretty damaged, do end up kind of getting back up from the wall and kind of regroup with the rest of them, as the one behind you is kind of forcibly grabbing you. We are ready to commence. Can we go forward now?
I suppose I'll have to send someone to clean up the mess anyway.
Hey, you see like those small little droids that like are that look like a shoebox that go around the floor. They've
I
like
love
already
those.
they've already there's like 5 of them have already come out. They have
All
like
those
the
droids.
the little like red lightsaber symbol on them with the crisscross teal one. And they're coming out and they're cleaning up the mess of the robots and dragging some away already. Everything's automated here. It's really impressive.
Wow,
You're,
that's weird.
You're slightly distracted as you're looking around at it.
Who would do that?
But the robot forcefully pushes you forward to take a step. Are you going to go along with them, or are you going to dispatch the other robots?
No, I'll go.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the other ones kind of follow you in a V or kind of like an H pattern, keeping you in the center. And they're kind of waiting for Moria to be the first one to go to the door and unlock it.
Can I do force powers with my hands behind my back?
You can certainly try.
Okay.
Gonna try it too now, or are you were you just asking?
No. I'll do a little bit. I'll do a few more. at least so that I'm not going in with a huge fleet around me.
Sure. So you're trying to do another push?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, you do it again. This time it's kind of awkward, and you're trying to direct it, and you kind of spread your fingers open wide, and the second half that was behind you on both sides fly to the side. But again, you feel this stronger electric bolt to you, as without even being able to react. It almost seems like they are built to handle force users. And you quickly kind of lose focus on that move set. It wasn't quite as powerful as the last one. But yeah, you would probably dispatch about half of them. There's only, I'd say, 6 left. They're kind of taking a step back, except for the one that's holding you. They definitely seem to have attitude and personality to them. Like you kind of look to the other side, and 2 of them are kind of like looking at each other, like, oh shit, like I don't know about this one, you know.
So I think for the rest, I want to wait till that door's open, because if they mention that the security protocol wasn't until the door's open or whatever, right? That's fair. Yeah. So I guess I'll wait till the door's open, and then I might take out a couple more. I want like 2 at the most.
I like it. I can dig it. Yeah. Basically, along your journey into the base, there's each kind of interval, you kind of take down another one. But again, it's starting to weaken you every time. You take strain damage each time you get electrocuted. As you're kind of almost by the end of it, by the time it's down to the last 2, they're almost like keeping you stood with how much electricity has been gone through you. But you've easily been able to dispatch the rest. There's so many droids out here, and they're working in overtime trying to clear the landing. Security threat level, please bring backup at soonest availability. Just bring her in. And like the other one like kind of just like pokes you and is like trying not to like tell you what to do, but kind of like just motioning like, if you want, please go forward. This one's a lot nicer than the last one you just pushed away.
Okay.
Moria, how are you reacting to all this?
Moria's just kind of walking as if nothing's happening, but she has kind of this smirk of amusement as the droids get dismantled, but also every time you get shocked, she just becomes satisfied that it's happening. So she doesn't make any moves to stop you, nor does she make any moves to prevent or help you. She's
makes sense.
Completely content letting you dig your own grave at this point.
Makes sense. Reveling in the chaos. Okay. Should we in the building now?
Yeah. So I'd say the door opens, you guys start to enter, and it changes from a very rocky, desolate kind of landscape to a very metallic, clean, dark marble onyx kind of look. Very, Death Starry type, that kind of stuff. And
did one of the droids that took my lightsaber, can I like force pull it back to myself.
Sure. Yeah.
There's
I was about to say, as each one was like pushed away and it fell to the ground, like a small magnet, that would drag it along, and it like would go into like the next one's hand as it's like next to you.
Oh,
And
okay.
this time you like force pull it, and it's like the droid basically was just like handing it back to you.
Perfect.
You're in the building. You are fine. Unless, I mean, do you stop fighting the robots, or do you continue to push off a few of
they're
them?
chill with me. I guess it just depends on how aggressive they're being, and
They're not being aggressive at all at this point. Another 2 have shown up to replace, so there's maybe 4, but there's no one's being aggressive to you at all. They're kind of standing back.
okay. Yeah, I think I would probably be fine. At some point, I want to get the handcuff things off me. If I have my lightsaber, that might be possible. Depends on what you want to say with that.
Sure. Let's say you hold off on that for a second. How's that?
Sure, that's fine.
I'll definitely give you a chance to do that for sure. But yeah, as you kind of see them not too much of a threat at the moment, you end up just kind of being distracted by the screams and moans that start echoing down this hallway. As you guys start coming in from here and start walking through the first hallway, you look around, and on either side of the hallway are force shields going into like cages, like prisons. And in some of them, you see a large figure stripped down, almost naked, with burns all over him, screaming in pain as he's being shocked and prodded with needles. And you can see some of them are very warm and are essentially melting parts of his skin. And you look up to try and identify who it could be, and there's a metal helmet covering his face. And before he could even see anything, you move on, and you look to your right, and you can hear scared kind of wimps of 3 children in a cage. They're not being hurt, not being harmed, but you look at them quickly and you can tell they're force sensitive, and they seem to be slightly malnourished. As you continue to go forward they go into the next room, and you just see different plans and different consoles that are monitoring the heartbeats and the vitals of all these people, and droids walking around. And it's clear to you that this is a torture, a brainwashing site, but they're keeping them alive. But what you're able to pick up, it seems that they're pushing people and kids to their limits, and then healing them and bringing them back and keeping them from dying. You've seen this at many other of these Sith academies that you have come across, but nothing this violent, this grotesque. As you come through this last hallway here before it opens up into a larger room, you look over and your heart skips a beat as you see a person. You were expecting to see someone that you didn't know, but you see a visor that's cracked, and Io being restrained, unconscious, with all of his face scars freshly opened, blood just slowly falling from each scar down his face. You see wounds across his chest, and on a screen, almost like propaganda, trying to retrain him. But he's silent.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Better than
Lucy's just
Lucy.
giggling.
Yeah. Yeah. As the robots make you turn and you walk into this larger room, there is And the map doesn't quite show it, but there is, in this room, there's no big hole. But there is almost like an altar. So it's a large room, and at the end, it kind of raises up to like almost like a table or altar looking thing with consoles built into it. And you see maps of the Starforge, and you see little diagrams of holocrons. And on the table are other holocrons and these artifacts. And you see the silhouette that you'd recognize anywhere of your dear husband. Is the second you notice him, you see whatever he was doing, he stops. And you can audibly hear a gasp of just excited knowing that you're in the room as he turns, and you see not quite the same eyes, but the same excitement that he used to show you the first time you'd walk into a room. It is you. What? What did you do? I told you she was our most honored guest. And with one simple motion of his hand, your shackles come free, and the robot next to you is just obliterated into a million pieces. And he looks over at Moria. What is the meaning of this? I told you she would be our most honored guest.
My master, you gave them a security protocol, and I don't have the authorization to override it.
Enough. He kind of shuts you down quickly. My apologies, Ven. If I had known they would have done that, I would have never let it happen, please. But no harm, no foul, right? You're here. And it's almost as if he's not believing what he's seeing in front of you, or in front of him. You see this smile across his face, though strangely twisted, the skin being taut against his bones and the dark circles around his eyes. It's weird to see a smile on a Sith's face, but it's there. And you do see hints of familiarity with the years of age that have come to him. His hair is longer, and you see strips of gray starting to speckle in. He has grown a little taller, but more, I hate to say muscular, dad body, but he's still very fit, but not as skinny. Age has definitely caught up to him. He's not a twig, but it's still it's very much power that emanates from him. And that is what you notice most, is this emanating aura that you used to attribute to his charisma, and now you can feel it in the room as a pulsating force leaving him. He has definitely become stronger in the force since the last time you've seen him.
Did we ever within this like timeline, did we ever see each other? Like, did we ever spring that trap we had talked about, or did it just never happen? Did you guys ever?
He was one step ahead.
Okay,
and
so
every
never
time
was able to get him.
No, and anytime you thought you had him, he'd have another Sith warrior there, or it'd be a trap, an ambush, and each time you thought you had the upper hand was when you lost someone. And he was always there. It was kind of like at the end of the story that I wrote, where shit goes down, and as you're leaving, you always sense him there. You see that he kind of had the upper hand on you, but had never been able to get through to you either. And over the years, the annoyance of that and the impatience of the patience of waiting for you, but the yearning to make you understand grew stronger.
Okay, thank you.
And you see a few seats and like a table there in the middle. It's got a few glasses with champagne style alcohol and food there. He's definitely brought out the welcoming table for you.
The nice skulls and bones and
Of
blood.
course.
Right.
Candles and everything.
Exactly. He is a classy man at heart, you know.
Yeah. Most romantic Sith award. It's just Isaidus.
Well, I do watch The Notebook. Yeah, he walks down from the raised kind of stage or altar where it's at, and he's standing there, arms outstretched in the middle of the room, as waiting for you to walk in.
Yeah, I think she's like very much like studying him. If it's been like so long since she's seen him kind of up close. And yeah, and she will walk in the room. I think she has she'll walk into the room and just kind of look probably a cross between like glaring at him, but also like there's a bit of confusion there too, probably. Or what's the word? Being a little torn, I think.
Right. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Almost like a hesitancy in a way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He kind of gives you a playful like, "Oh, you've hit me in the heart," and he goes, "Please don't look at me that way. I told you you're free. You're my guest. You can leave whenever you want." And you kind of just see him sigh as you continue to look him over, and he goes, "Must I prove it to you?" And you see him, you tense real quickly and grab the hilt of your saber as he reaches for his, and in one kind of just nonchalant, he throws the saber to you.
Okay, I'll catch it. What is it? There's anything in particular?
Tell me.
What?
No, it's his saber.
Oh, he's just giving it to me.
He's basically
okay.
going like defenseless, saying like, "I'm not a threat here."
Oh, okay. She'll probably look at it for a second, kind of turn it over in her hands, and
Definitely been upgraded. Probably really was what's the word? Pretentious looking, but very much the same vein of saber that he would have made in the past too, just with better material. Probably the best material that you've seen.
She'll just look at it and say, "I liked your old one."
You are always one to joke around, Ben. Please sit. This is the most grand of occasions. I'm close. Ben.
I'll go like. I will sit down. I'll probably still have his lightsaber like set on the table or something. She's not super worried about him attacking her.
Yeah, he like super excitedly just like sits across from you, and he's like almost like what's the word? Fixing his robes, making sure he looks good and sure he looks the best.
And she'll say, "Might have been a better reunion if I hadn't seen one of my friends bloody in a cage."
And you do see a bit of like, sorry about that one, face. You really call them friends? They don't love you the way I do. Anyway, I am sorry about that. You've inspired them. You've filled them with the follies of the Jedi Order. And you just see it's almost painful for him to say Jedi. It's like this disgusting word that comes out of his mouth. He's quite the resistant one. It's like your Padawan. But I promised you I would not kill them. I've been simply enlightening them to the welcoming strength of the dark side. And with that, you definitely see the return of the crimson, and amber in his eyes, and the aura kind of pulsates as he says it, as the The darker kind of like guttural sound of his voice returns. Please. We've been through this before.
Too many times.
What has it brought for you? What has it given you but pain? Brokenness. Look what the dark side has given me. The path that I have molded it under my own hands. Created this. It has given me everything. I am in control of the Force. I want to show it to you. Will you help me obtain it?
What more power? I don't know if you need any more, Isaidus.
Not power. And you kind of see an actual genuineness about him. And you can tell that this is not a ruse at all with your bond. And that bond that you had kind of shielded and stripped to yourself had been disconnected from him, but especially now and through your moments of doubt, it's almost been a cracked shield. And in this moment you start feeling it start returning, and the shield stripping away as the old bonds begin to just thread by thread return. And you're starting to just see into his expressions and feel his intentions. And you can feel the love, or the way he sees it. I have found a way to go beyond it. Beyond the Sith, beyond the Jedi. But I need you to help me obtain it. I can bring true balance to the universe.
Why do you want balance? This does not look like balance.
We must teach the universe balance, Finn. We must mold it in the way that we see fit. We have been given these powers, these abilities, to control, to rein in. Please. You're still not spotting the Jedi way, are you?
I don't know.
See the doubt in you. Look, just hear me out and let me show you what I have planned. All I need you to do is help me on this next mission, as you will. Help me do this, and your Padawan. He kind of says that in like a dismissive way, as if like she is no consequence to him. And your former pilot. You can take them, you can leave. You can never see me ever again if that's what you want. He kind of puts his hand like a crisscross over his heart. I swear. If you ever want to see me again, I'll leave you alone. Even though like it pains him to say that.
Why would that be the case? You haven't left us alone this whole time.
And you kind of see like the impatience coming back, and like, because I almost have it. Just get the key. All this work, all this time will be worth it. I will finally given master over the Force. What I promised you, the path that I wanted to create for you, I am almost so close to it. Can't do it without you.
So, you're telling me that if I get whatever this is for you, you'll let my friends go and you'll leave me alone?
If that's what you so desire. Or maybe when you're done, you'll choose to stay with me. And you kind of just see this like hope in his eyes and this excitement of knowing your intrigue and knowing that what he has set up for you is going to show you and kind of finally convince you of what he's been telling you for over the past decades.
Mm.
I have done all of this to free you from the shackles taking you down. Your friends around you, they've only slowed your progress. They've only kept you from finding your true potential, then. You know that. All of this has been about you, not about me.
Well, I don't know what I'll do at the end of this. But let's say I do decide to stay with you. How will you make it up to me? You've ruined my entire life.
I have freed you from your entire life. Whatever you ask of me, I will make it happen. It is whatever you ask of me to my dying day, then I will do it for you, my dearest.
Really?
Of course. And he looks like surprised when you say that. Have I ever not acted like I've been doing this for you?
I just don't know if you would hold up something like if I wanted those terrified kids let go and they could go live their lives somewhere else. Would you do that?
See him look down to his kind of like this data pad wrist, like controls on his this like technical wristband, and he presses a button and done. They're free. And you kind of hear the shielding of their prison cell just die down.
She just like stares into the eye. She's like, what if I asked you to take them to the order right now?
You definitely see a bit of a eye roll. The order that I was trying to save them from. Sure. Fine.
Sure.
Take them. Let them become inconsequential. I don't care. Go to the ways of the foolish order, if that's what you truly want. You will always wonder what you could have had.
She just kind of sits back. She is like, well, what is it that you want then? I'll hear it. At least.
Almost as like quickly as his emotions have changed, you just see the joy come. Good. The joy come to his face. It's like, oh yes, good then. Let us get to it. I have put together a team of sorts. Think of it as, what did you call them? The Peachy Keen? The Keeny Peach? I don't even know. It's bizarre to me.
Peachy Keen in a voice.
Do you hear how bizarre that sounds when you say it out loud? I mean, I never thought of you being associated with anyways.
I didn't name that, believe me.
Your Io scream out in pain.
Meanwhile, Io feels like great offense has been done to him.
Oh, definitely.
Ben does smirk like slightly and is like, believe me, there's a little bit of secondhand embarrassment traveling around with them, but what could you do? Yeah.
Please, I will give you. You can use the ship you landed in. I don't care. It's quite nice. Look, I have a simple mission. It's very easy for you to do. You run it your way. Though, you kind of see him look over to Moria. You might have to take a few of the people I recommend, just to make sure you keep to the mission, if you will. And he points over to Moore. He goes, why don't you bring them in, the crew we've assembled? And Moria walks over to kind of the side door. And as it opens, you see, first off the bat, you look in and you see these kind of like tubes or whatever, and you see your Padawan. conscious, just floating there, shackled.
Wait, hold on. No, time out. Can we hear that sound again though?
Oh, me.
I thought somebody
adorable.
dropped something.
It sounded like what?
It sounded like someone dropped something. Like, I dropped something on my
I think
lap.
she was in the middle of taking a drink and screamed into her water bottle.
Yeah, that's
That was
basically
cute.
what happened. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's cute.
And you see the Sith Yara with her hood up, standing kind of guard over her. But from around the corner, Moria kind of walks in and walks out with a very large soldier that you recognize, though in different armor, and a red-skinned figure that you've never seen before. So yeah, Matt and Rob, why don't you guys... Oh, and of course, you kind of look shocked for a second as you see what you think is Io in full-on Sith armor walking out. So why don't the three of you describe your Sith dark side character?
So, bit of clarification first. Del survived and was taken.
So all of you
Correct.
at this point would have spent years of torture, years of retraining, years of manipulation, and have also been implanted with a implant in your neck. Well, yeah, actually all of you, that Rob's character has developed, as she's probably developed most of the robotic automatic technology in this base. But all of you have a implant in the back of your neck that at any moment when you were bucking against Isaidus' wills or order, he could press a simple button and a extremely forceful amount of electricity would run through your body. It's very much Suicide Squad. You guys have been repurposed and are either obedient to what he says because you've broken inside, or you have welcomed it and accepted it and almost are starting to enjoy it. And you guys have probably in the past year or so been going out on different missions and different objectives by him to retrieve things or to find certain people.
If they're good, do they get good benefits on the job?
Do we get
Of
dentistry?
Of course, darling. What do you think I am, a poor manager? Look, there are incentives. I can show you the whole plan. There's a
Their
pamphlet.
health plans? I'm just saying, the health plans, best in the galaxy. Just saying.
Look, if you survive, we hold no expense.
Isaidus slides over a file of
There's an application in the back. If you like what you see, look, I promise no implant for you, okay? There's a 401k. I match it. No limit in the year.
To be honest, Sioran probably obeys just because he has a little more respect for people who are more powerful than him, and he's not one to sass people. Or if he does, it's just somebody on his level.
By the way, those emitters operate at 3-phase 400 amps and 54,000 volts. Have fun.
Jesus Christ.
Please, don't be so quiet and rigid. Introduce yourself to my guest.
Who's going first? What about you, big guy? Come on, scoot.
Jesus.
Come now, don't you want to say hi to an old friend?
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna walk straight up to Ven and look down at her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he looks down on her. That's what you said. Okay. Is
There
he
was
recognizable?
probably-
I don't know if I don't know if you guys described yourselves
I
at
am
all.
lagging.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get them to
Great
describe their
robot.
characters right now. But I'd say also Isaidus would have probably put up his hand a good 6 feet away before you get to Ven, making sure you don't get too close to her. Almost as in like a, you touch her, you
immediately
die.
stop.
You know?
The Purifier. You knew me as Del. You left me to die. You killed my daughter. Standing around 6 feet away is an even larger individual. You can see that implants have clearly been placed in him. Well, he was around 7 foot tall. He's around like 9 now. Full black armor, and it is stained with burn marks, battle scarring. The voice, as far as you can tell, there is no like modulator to change it. That is now his new voice. He reaches up and slowly removes the helmet. You see pretty much Two-Face from Heath Ledger's Batman movie, but like almost completely over. Not to a full degree, like teeth and everything, but around his mouth is like this new breathalyzer that helps him breathe. That continues down into his throat. You can actually see the implant going in, but his whole head is covered in burn marks. Then he slowly turns away and puts his hat back on. Stands obediently next to the rest of the group.
Yeah, Ven's eyes are probably pretty big, which is saying something because she normally just seems pretty unaffected by things.
Hey Ben, how jokeful was Isaidus? Was he ever just like stupid funny and doing jokes, or was he always kind of somewhat serious?
Nah, Ven was more serious than he was.
He's definitely like the charismatic, like joke, trying to get
He
you to laugh all
was,
the time.
yeah, he totally was, yeah.
As he steps back, you see Isaidus go, "He was molded by me." He's one of my favorites.
He's gonna take a step forward, like he is immediately like pissed, and then he like falls to his knees.
There's definitely a quick button press of the electricity to you. He's been a good dog for me. And he kind of looks over at Ben, kind of just, it's good to see you laugh.
I don't think I laughed.
Ven is just aghast. And
Ven's pretty horrified, but I can't stop laughing.
The picture of Isaidus doing
Rachel
that is
laughed.
so funny.
Yeah.
I could
Rachel is
totally picture him
laughing.
doing it, but I wanted to double check first. Is this out of character for him? Because that's how I want to play him.
What?
That's why I wanted to ask you, would it be
Oh,
out of
yeah,
character
yeah.
for Isaidus? So I was like, I don't know. He seems a little sassy.
He's a little sassy.
a little bit sassy.
Sassy.
Well, that takes care of the big guy. What about you, stick figure man? Let's go.
I'm
I
assuming
love
that's
her.
reference to Siorn.
Yep.
He's pretty skinny. You just see this man who basically, yeah, you can tell he's related to Io because he looks almost exactly like him, just slight differences in the shape of his face. But he's got these brutal lines of scars all down the right side of his face, and they look pretty old, so it's like they're probably some kind of torture back in his past at some point. And around his shoulders, you can just like see what looks like some weird kind of like backpack straps just kind of hanging around his shoulders. and they kind of like twitch and move, so it's like, oh, there's something alive on his back. But he's just standing in like a very what's the word for it? Parade rest. There you go. That's what he's standing at, and he just kind of like looks over to everyone in turn, but doesn't really say anything. I did post pictures of him with his outfit, so I'm too lazy to describe it. It's very not Sith-like. There's a lot of white and blue in there.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Tihorn here has been one of my most loyal servants. He's been with me quite the longest. Taken down quite a few Jedi in his time. Gave Io a heart attack, that is for sure.
Yeah, she's probably looking at him like really carefully.
What did you not know about him? The things your crew didn't tell you.
Are you going to tell me, or are you going to just say how much I don't know?
Well, he's Io's brother.
Brother.
Very good. And now you can thank this beautiful specimen for any kind of like puts his hands like showing everything that has been built here. The soldiers that are like walking around and all the robots. My most famed possession here bought her from the governor. He was quite underutilizing her. But she thrived under me. Introduce yourself, darling.
With pleasure. I believe that is my cue. As he said, everything that you can see around here, built by my own hand. If you need it, I can build it. If you need it better, I can improve it. If you get in my way, if anything gets in my way, I can destroy it. Lyra, at your service.
That just gives her a nod, thinking back to all the robots she just destroyed.
Going, oh.
You can replace them, right? I mean,
Oh, easily. Those were still the Mark 1s.
and write something with the protocol. Ven doesn't have to be ever tied up here. She's our guest. And he kind of points to all three of you to kind of like stand there. So, your new crew, what do you think?
Oh, I forgot to describe myself. I'm so sorry.
Please go ahead. I can't take my eyes off Ven.
So,
Jesus Christ.
I am a red-skinned Twi'lek. Not always red-skinned, but, you know, certain things. Changed moods. It's in the past now. Wearing pretty tight, kind of leatherish pants, a white deep-cut V-neck t-shirt with a flight jacket kind of thrown around the shoulders. You can see a long rifle on my back, a pistol at my hip, and as I snap, two droids flying out. Both of them painted in black with red, what looks like decorative blood splatters across the fronts of them.
Classy.
Love it. As you can see, they're quite capable. I bring in only the strongest, and those loyal to the cause rise to the highest of ranks. They will be quite adequate for the simple task I'm asking for you to do. And he kind of directs your eyes up to the large console screen that's kind of like above the altar. And you see kind of like images of a Starforge and this holocron and this odd a skull-like figure that's also sitting on the altar. And he presses a few buttons and it changes to a visage of the Jedi Temple. And in the corner is Revan's, like diagrams of Revan's helmet. It's quite simple. I am in need of Revan's helmet. The Jedi took possession of it and are guarding it in their archive. Simple as that. Of course not. Receive it for me, as I'm sure they'll be happy to see you again. Return to me, and that's all I need from you. Simple enough, right?
First of all, why do you need that?
Oh, that Revan. And you kind of see almost a image of kind of joy of victory in this entire facade, but also frustration of everything he put him through. The tricky bitch decided to hide a very essential piece of an artifact in her helmet, thinking no one would ever find it there. I just need the key. I promise, Ven. And you just see this earning, this desire for having you understand him. I promise I can show you everything that I can unlock. Everything that I've been working towards. This is the last piece. Jedi, the Sith, dark, light, none of it matters. With this, we control the Force. Manipulate death. Defeat it.
Manipulate death?
So in essence. And you kind of know some of the other artifacts that are on the altar and some of the images here. A lot of it are like bones and seeing how far, like you saw in the other place, like how far he could push people to life and death. And you kind of see this ongoing theme of obsession, of trying to manipulate the balance of that. There are things about the Force that the Jedi kept from you that I can teach you. Doing it so we can be together forever.
You're trying to make it so that we don't die?
More complicated than that. And he looks slightly annoyed as you put his entire life's work and research into one line, but something along those lines. I will reveal all of it to you and show you the power of it when you return. Think of it as a gift to you for helping me out. Again, he puts his hands up as, I promise, if you just want to walk away, you can have whatever you want.
Did you cut out? Or did you just leave it if you just want to walk away?
What was the last thing I said?
Okay. Oh, you said if you just want to walk away, and I didn't know if that was...
if you want to walk away, then I promise you can have whatever you want. I won't stop you. Even your Padawan? And with like another flick, and with a hand motion, Viri's body starts coming to life as you see this strange like pressure on her face and her head, as almost like the blood veins in her head are about to pop, and you just hear and you see her waking up bruised, puffy-eyed. Her robes kind of cut and burned in multiple areas all over her. And then, is that you?
I'm sorry, not laughing because it's funny. It's really sad.
You see tears kind of start falling, but in one where her puffy eye is, it's like riddled with blood.
So yeah, Ven just looks like super pained, like she's almost experiencing that pain, you know, as well. And she just says, "Fury, I'm so sorry."
I can't,
She like, go ahead. Sorry.
I can't handle it anymore. I just want to die. With that, Yara turns around and you just see her extend her hand, and lightning lights her up again and singes her for a brief second before just smoking. Her head falls limp again.
Ven just like openly glares at Isaidus, and she says, "You didn't need to display that to me."
You taught her well. Though you have filled her brain with lies and hope of the light side, she is quite the resistant one. Let her go if that's what you want. I won't let her die. And there's a bit of a curl to his mouth that you've seen before. He knows the kind of pressure point that your Padawans put on you.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely the manipulation point going on at that point.
Mm-hmm. I guess she'll just say it's this sort of monstrous behavior that I hate. This stops.
I won't need it anymore. I won't need to do this when I obtain the key. You act like I enjoy this. I don't. I have to. This is the path that I have forged for us. These are the payments and sacrifices that I have given up for us. We'll see. I promise you will see.
Well, I suppose I don't even need you to fill in the blank on what would happen if I just left right now.
Well, many Jedi would die. I will unshackle these servants on the entire temple. I'm giving you the chance to walk in, retrieve it with no bloodshed. Figured you would want that.
She just sits there, like, thinking for a good amount of time. And
He
then
sits back with his fingers together, not saying anything, just kind of letting you. He's giving you the power negotiation. He will not be the first one to speak.
Office episode. It's all I can think of right now. Honestly. Yeah. So, finally, she will. She'll like kind of get her, probably like pick her lightsaber back up off the table and say, do they need to come with me? I don't know if I'm just gonna walk in.
Sorry, dear. I do need a level of insurance that I will get this artifact today. If you fail, they know their orders. I'm sure you'll find a way. You are the... And you kind of see this as it's like a backhanded compliment. But he goes, and I know you to be the greatest Jedi I have ever known. Both complimentary, but like mocking at the same time. The fact that you're still tying yourself to the Jedi.
Okay.
He's sincere in thinking that you're...
Somewhat.
Yeah. He's sincere in thinking you're the most powerful one he's ever met, but kind of searing at, again, having to say Jedi. I just imagine him. You are the most powerful Jedi ever. Sorry, it's a Sith thing. You can't say it without...
You can't say it.
It's Jedi. It's really... I've seen many doctors for it. I don't know what happens.
That's his cure that he's been trying to do. This is
What?
what he's been working towards. Okay. Yeah, so she'll just say, looks like you finally twisted my arm. We go. Or do you
Get it
have
back.
more?
That's it. Go retrieve the helmet, bring it back. That's it. Simple. I'm sure you can handle it.
How do I
like-
know
Go ahead.
Del isn't going to try to kill me? She like glances at Del.
She is in charge here, and he looks directly at Moria instead of Del, though the orders are going to the four of you. Ven's in charge. You follow her orders. Unless she tries to undermine the mission. Agreed? And then he puts his hands up again. Agreed, big man. Yes, sir. I have taught them well. And he kind of stands and kind of opens his arm as the door opens again to the hallway, where you can see Io kind of banded up in 3 bands, his head just limp to his chest. I don't think I'd leave these characters out. Come on now.
I like how Lucy giggles every time you talk about how
She's so thrilled at how tortured her character is. I love it.
I'm sorry, I can't help but be so happy. I'm like, yes, torture.
The eggs.
You were made for this Sith one shot for sure.
I was like, yes, it's finally happened to him.
I've been waiting all this time.
I mean, it was fun and all, but this is what I've been waiting for.
My poor character is tortured for my amusement.
Fact.
So he waves the door open, stands, and what do you do?
I'll look at Isaidus and say, no torturing my friends until I get back.
What do you desire, my dear?
And I guess I'll turn to the others and say, do you guys need anything? Here we go.
No, I'm good.
Moria just kind of pats Dell's arm in a sarcastic way, and she goes, "No, I think we're well equipped to assist."
All right. So I guess she'll just motion that they can go.
Walk and let them walk before you.
Yep.
Sadie kind of nods as like she gives the order, as in like you heard her.
As soon as he nods, that's when Moria actually moves. Until then, she does not. But the second he gives that nod, she gives him an actually sincere bow of respect before turning on her heel, and she will be the first one to walk out.
Moria, you are taken off guard by the fact that he put Ben in command. You knew somewhat of this mission and everything, and the preparation for it, but you were definitely taken off guard. The idea that, and both that he put Ben in charge and also the level of attention he gave her, it's something that he's never given you anything close to that. Even though
I am
you're
very unhappy.
probably the closest to him.
Showed up seething.
I am very unhappy. We will not be having sleepovers, Ben. I'm sorry.
That's what she mutters as she like marches past.
We're not going to be friends. We're not going to braid each other's hair.
I'll give her. I did steal her as a baby. She's quite sheltered.
Oh my god.
Sioran will follow after her. At which point, when you see his back, there's this monstrous banshee just hanging off his back like a chill backpack.
Sith sugar glider. I love it.
Yeah.
100%.
Punisher, Purifier, whatever. Purifier.
He begins walking slowly. It's more to do with his like the weight of the gear he's being forced to carry than
Vin-
him.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
So it's more of the the weight of the equipment he's being forced to carry than him being reluctant. But you can tell there's been a bit reluctance, whether it's to be working with her or to be moving at all at this point after being shocked. You're not quite sure.
Probably a little of both.
Each
A little
step,
bit of both.
Little bit of both.
each step kind of gives a cracking to the marble underneath his feet. He kind of leaves imprints with the strength of his implants in each step.
And the repair costs that constantly go on in that place.
It's always cracked marble. It's the fashion nowadays.
Yeah.
So, you think there's a new bit, it's just him.
It's okay, because, guys, the Sith also have, like, space insurance, so it's covered. It's fine.
There you go.
So as you all are walking out in front of Ven, then you turn your head kind of one last time as the door begins to fall, and you just see Isaidus looking at you, and he goes, "May the Force serve you well." As the door shuts, that's the last thing. You almost hear it in front of you, but at the same time, almost like in your head. Isaidus is bond, and the twisting manipulation has returned full force.
So like any sort of shielding I had built up over the years is just gone, basically.
It's definitely weakened,
Mm.
but I'd say it's weakened from your resistance to him. Your efforts to hide what you're thinking and hiding him from you are still intact. So
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Because like you were definitely, it was more of a shielding thing. It wasn't ever meant to be offensive. So your you're feeling his emotions, you're understanding his intentions and feelings. Like that's all there 100%. It's come screaming back and has been stripped away over the years. And while also the memories of like the good times have returned and are kind of like twisted in this perverted force guidance that keeps on distracting you every time you try and tap into the force. But you do feel that you are guarding yourself from allowing him in at the moment until you decide to so let that down.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So as you guys make your way through the halls and relive the many, many different types of aliens and humans and experiments going on in these hallways and screams and cries, it's a death house. It's a hell house. But you eventually make it outside, and it's almost this breath of either refreshing air, or if you like this sort of base, then it's almost a longing to be back in it. But as you walk up to the Ebon Cobra, which I love that name, the pilot that you had, Ven, the robot, is laying split apart at the bottom of the ramp. And there is a hooded robot, as the ones that you saw before were hooded in red robes. This one is in a dark black robe. And it turns around and just kind of you see these dark red robotic eyes looking at you. Well, yeah, hello. I am your pilot for today. How's it going? Yeah.
I would just like to point out that I did not consent to that. That was pure Michael right there.
And wanting to
like
do
a Michael
this
thing.
for so long and find a way to make this go in somewhere.
Somewhere it has to be.
Liara, this is your first ever attempt at sentience in a robot, and it was a success. A prototype that has been corrupted. His accent and sentience is quite something beyond what you can attempt to fix without just destroying and remaking him. But there is a special mistake into it, and you've ended up keeping him serviceable as a pilot this whole time. Sir, please go, let us go, yeah? You just see him, he starts waddling up the ship and heading to the helm. So yeah.
Rob,
Do you guys want to take a break now? Yep. Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah,
So,
let's go ahead and take a quickie.
how are you
break
guys
here.
liking this game? Yeah.
Oh, I feel weird.
I'm loving
I
it.
don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
Be evil?
Are you guys uncomfortable yet?
Welcome to the dark side of the Force.
This is pretty great. Pretty dramatic.
Oh, I'm loving it.
Yeah, the drama is real right now. I'm enjoying the drama.
Definitely wanting to find ways to give a little bit of sense of connection and angst to it. There are stakes here for sure, you know. So, yeah. Well, hopefully you guys are liking it so far. How is Sai? Is
That's
he all
great.
right?
You got some
Good.
nice mood shifts going on.
Of course. He's probably destroying something in his giddy excitement as someone brought him like a bubbly water instead of a flat water.
I still will always laugh at the idea of him doing the Bane voice because it's just too amazing.
I love
some
it.
sort of
It's
crossover.
He will now. So.
What, Matt? Sorry.
No, I love the fact that he's taking the piss out of this, out of Dell, because it's like Dell is a very serious person. He's meant to be like strong and everything, and he's basically just undermining everything that Dell is.
Mhm.
Like how easily he managed to break him, and yeah,
Yeah.
It's definitely
That's a
one
good
thing I
point.
was going to say to you guys earlier. Like, none of this was easy for sure. You guys definitely like resisted hard, except Seahorn. Seahorn was like, "Sure." Like, what?
Like,
He's
yeah, I'll work for
I
you.
serve you, and he was like, torture, and he's like, "Oh yes, I love it." Yeah. Oh no, just joking. No, but like this is all Isaidus in an equal parts wanting to bring like what he sees as strength and your true potential out of you guys, while at the same time manipulating you to almost like wanting to kill him and like giving into that to become stronger, if that makes sense. Like he
Totally.
almost welcomes that manipulation. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna jump off here real quick.
Yeah, me too.
Also, the Redskins are about to pick next in the NFL draft, so I'm hoping my break can just cover the Redskins and then come back, so I'm not distracted. But yeah, we'll come back in like 5-10 minutes. How's that?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
I'm gonna make tea. Okay, bye.
All right. So you guys about ready to start up again? Are we waiting for anybody? I think it was just me, right? Was that the last one?
Yeah, I
It
think
was
everyone's
just you. It's always
Cool.
you, Michael.
I know. It's usually actually never me, but okay.
It is though, because I love you.
Cool. So I'm gonna keep the music on. I just want to lower it a little bit.
Yeah, I'll keep it going. I just kind of had it off briefly when we were first starting, so you could get the narrative built up.
Nah, we need the music in the background.
All right, y'all gonna listen to my weird ass music compilation, but all right.
Cool. So after these events and after your glorious and fun reunion with your dear hubby, you guys find yourself kind of taking your own space on the Ebony Cobra, getting settled in, and if you want to drag your tokens in, if you want, you can. It definitely has a colder feel from the Peachy Keen. It's more sleek. Actually, originally wasn't planning on Ben having it at the beginning. It was just going to be something y'all use, but I kind of liked her having it. I was like, all right, that works.
It's kind of fun. I can't move my token, by the way.
How dare you?
I know.
I will use my Sith powers and make Angie do it. Since I literally have no control over anything, and Angie was truly the DM that prepped everything, and I just talk into the mic.
Michael, please tell me you're looking at my camera right now.
Good. Bring the hatred. No. All right.
You are why I can't have nice things in my life.
I forgot that I was still on camera. Right.
You're special. It's okay.
Or y'all can just sit awkwardly in Sith silence. We can say we're at Coruscant. Here's the guy, Sith silence.
By the way, I saw that face, Rob. Yes, that's actually the voice for this robot pilot. I had no say in it.
Okay.
I did not tell her ahead of time.
Got
this
it.
is news to me. So
Because I knew
Got
she
it.
wouldn't let me.
you're right. You're not wrong.
Wasn't the voice you writ for it, but a corruption in his code. Taking over.
I hate when that happens.
The hacker known as Michael Randolph.
Jesus. Also, I'll have you know, for the entire intro, I was trying so hard to find the smuggler's compartment, and I finally found it like a half hour ago.
It's amazing.
Beautiful.
Like right there, but it was so well hidden.
Yep.
That's the point. It's so well hidden. What are your characters doing?
Sioran's just kind of slowly moving around the ship, taking it all in. Well, pretty baby Wraith is just hanging out on his back. Giving him lots of affectionate slobbering on his neck.
Who knew
Oh
a
my God,
banshee could be fucking adorable?
Right? Then
Well,
you
of
see her in battle
course.
and it's like, oh.
Of course, I'm inspecting the ship. I have to see if it's up to my personal standards.
It's not quite there, but it's adequate. It's better than you were expecting.
Well, what I was expecting was a flying trash can.
So yeah, better than you were expecting.
Yeah, a lot better than you were expecting.
It's not
Anything
luxury,
that gets as
but
close to my standards, you are sadly mistaken.
it'll do.
In a pinch, sure.
Ben's just watching them just insult her ship.
I mean, oh my God, now I'm gonna screw them up. Anyway, Io was already
ahead,
insulted by
Dave.
what was said about his ship.
I know, right?
Sioran hasn't actually said anything. He's just kind of looking about. Eventually, after a thorough inspection, he makes his way to what is this place? The lounge area, and just kind of stands there in thought. He's a very strange character. He's worse than Io.
He's worse.
I love it. I love
Io
every
chills
ounce
out
of
the
it.
vent. Sioran just stands there, completely still, just like
He
watching everyone.
exists. He just simply exists. That is his job. To just
All the
live.
movement comes from Wraith when she's like twitching, like readjusting her wings, flicking her tail, kind of just like chilling there.
Is that something that's like pretty unique, or like would people know what that was? You know, like if I saw that.
I feel like you would know what a banshee is, but it's not very common for them to be friendly. They're
Okay.
usually aggressive.
They'll fuck you up, yow.
She's
They
got
will.
some like kind of shock like collar on, so that's probably partly contributing to her friendliness.
Love it.
Oh my God, I haven't heard this song in ages.
I wondered if anyone would know that this song is. Yeah,
Rainbow
one of my favorites.
Factory.
Love me some Rainbow Factory. Moria's just kind of standing outside of what she has designated to be her room. Again, arms crossed at the chest, just leaning against the wall. Kind of similar to the rest of the crew, kind of gauging everything, but the whole ship is just beneath her. It's almost like this entire thing is beneath her. She's just here. She's got this permanent sour scowl to her face. She's not very happy.
She just didn't like not getting
She's
attention.
just jealous.
She is not happy. And yeah, anytime Ven comes into her view, she just kind of does a little scoff and lifts her head like common. Damn common folk in my ship.
That's the Sith version of basic bitch.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Lyra. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the best part is I'm acting this out, and so far I think only Rob is the one watching me.
I'm
Yeah.
watching.
Lyra, in the meantime, of course, has found the electronics and gunnery section and is going
Oh.
over how well armed and defended this ship is.
was a little mirror sounding there.
We're back.
Oh, you mistake.
Huh?
You mistake. I am interested in how well armed this ship is.
Sure.
And don't ever say my slave name again.
Who are you talking to?
The
See,
voice
I'm
of
so
the
sorry.
guy,
I did
obviously.
not mean to call you by any names you do not want to be called. So let me update your records.
I am talking to Michael.
To the voice
Oh,
of the
yeah.
sky.
So she's just talking to nothing. We're all like, oh.
Yep.
Michael was the
Mark.
accent that she intended for the robot. And he slips in between and out of this and, oh, yeah.
Jesus. Moria is not surprised that she's talking to voices in her head again. Totally normal. We're not gonna react. We're just gonna let it go like it's a normal everyday occurrence. Bitch be cray.
So, with my time of knowing
know
these
you love it.
people, with my time of knowing these people, do I know if any of them are Force users?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Siorn doesn't hide it.
Right, but Sion doesn't like read minds and stuff.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. He has used forced persuasion on people lots of times.
So he might have a little bit of force power, but for the most part it's similar to Io. It helps his sight. Obviously Moria's hardcore force user. She uses it for damn near anything. She openly shows that her two lightsabers are on her belt, so she does not hide at all what she is. She's very
Right.
proud.
Okay.
It's like if you fought with Siorn, then you'd see. But otherwise, he's like, I only
has no
talk
need
or
to
move
use
when
the
needed.
Force.
Hmm.
Lyra knows that some people are Force resistant. But there's not many people that are money resistant.
What was that?
I've heard more squeeze for the dark side out of Rachel than I've heard squeeze for adorable shit that happens in the canonical game.
She likes my games, yeah. Sorry.
Evil games are the best!
I know you couldn't see me, Michael, but I flipped you off. You're welcome.
I saw it.
With both barrels!
I
have
did.
Double barrel!
I have this weird thing where if I feel like someone wants me to think something is cute, I probably just will immediately not think it's cute, and it's kind of like a subconscious thing. So that's probably why you never heard me squeal before.
I made
Well,
adorable
then.
NPCs for you. Why you do this?
That's why I like Joseph, because he's not cute.
She could go triple barrel!
I'm not that talented. Otherwise, I would.
Great. Thanks, Rachel. Every fucking NPC from now is going to be butt ugly. Thanks to you. Just so that she's going to try and make you squeal.
Y'all will never get laid.
barrel!
Ruining
God.
our game.
Is this what?
Ow.
All right.
So, where is Ven currently?
I was just sort of watching everyone go over my ship warily, because I don't know you people besides you, Dal.
So, so the purifier. Sorry, I'm choking on something.
Is the purifier also choking?
You know what? Sometimes he forgets how to breathe and swallow. It's complicated. He's better to just shoot at things.
No. I'm
He's had a
choking
lot
on
of
air.
Damage to his lungs.
Oh, those have probably been replaced.
Here we go.
So
Probably,
sorry,
yeah.
I don't know. I was choking on air. If he's just standing there, then he's gonna stand not right behind her, maybe like a 2 foot back from behind her, but he's just keeping an eye on her.
Okay. Does he even say anything? Or he's just standing there.
He's just standing there. He's not like looking directly at you, from what you can tell, as he's like.
What the heck?
Everything. Gravity got the best of me. It is.
How about that? I saw Rob's gif and made me laugh. That's exactly what I was picturing him doing. You can't see. I am invisible. What? No, not.
So
I have mastered the art of standing so still.
you don't know that I'm there. So, sorry, I don't know what that was. So, yeah, he's basically like, his visor's gonna be like looking straight ahead, but she can feel his eyes on her. He doesn't really say much. Just anytime he's told to move out the way, he'd take a sidestep immediately.
Yeah. Well, I think at one point she'd probably say, like, kind of quietly, she'll say, "So you blame me?"
You merely adopted the burns. I was
Bob.
born by.
So,
How about
quick question: Who in the group then knows Mandalorian
talking in game or out of game?
in game?
No
Do you know
one else.
I don't know
So
who
no one-
would unless they randomly decided to study it.
I don't think anyone else would.
So he's gonna say in Mandalorian. Wait, can we go to private, please?
It wouldn't record.
Yeah, it would not be recorded, but
That's perfect. So
It's
nobody
fine.
can
No
know.
metagaming.
There you go.
I would like to know. I am co-DM. I get the privilege of knowing.
You're
I
fine,
mean,
go
we could go in private if you want. I also don't care. I feel like no one will metagame, so it just depends.
Yeah, I'm pretty
What-
sure no one will metagame, so I think it's safe.
So we'll say no,
He'll say no.
no.
Hmm.
If you want, we can kick everyone else out. We're gonna do that. I just want it to be short. That's all.
Yeah. No, I'll just because I can speak Mandalorian because of the war and stuff. So I'll just say, I looked for you too, but I couldn't find you.
The moment like anyone appears, he goes, "Liar! You abandoned me." And
What-
he goes to take a step. He goes to take a step forward, but he immediately takes a step back. Like he doesn't want to get shocked again. So to everyone else, she's talking to him normally, and he's just getting pissed off at her. But he's not going to do shit because they know he'll get shocked.
Yes. Cool.
All right. Is there any other interactions we want to do on the ship before landing on Coruscant?
Not
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know.
Going once?
I mean, if someone wants to harass Yorn, they can, but otherwise he's good.
I know it's hard because it's like this isn't
You
like
guys
a
don't- yeah.
let's get to know each other fun mission, So I'd like
The fuck is the food on this ship?
it worked.
I don't think what they serve on the ship would be classified as food, but we'll call it that, I guess.
It's just
It's practical. You don't need anything else when you're in space.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a problem, because what you determine as a need is not what I determine as a need. Let me determine what the needs are.
You don't see my face right now, but like my whole face is just like grinning so big because that was just the most Sith thing I've ever heard.
You should see me actually acting it out. I'm getting into character here. It's great. I don't get to do this often.
Yeah,
It's
right.
actually been entertaining watching you and Rob.
Lyra is going to go to the gallery where the auto chef is and fucking get some goddamn food.
Pretty bare. You see like some like rations, maybe a couple of pitchers of water and stuff. But Ven seems to have been eating pretty
Shit.
simply.
Shit. 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 Ooh, crack. It's empty. Shit.
Oh, did anybody else see that?
I
No,
saw
I
just
didn't.
like the briefest container flipping over his shoulder.
He straight up grabbed a cracker, or no, yeah, cracker box, looked inside it, and threw it over his shoulder. It was beautiful. Oh, that was beautiful.
I can just imagine.
Lyra's gonna wander back over to the electronics section, carrying a bag of cereal.
It's like the wheat Special K kind. It's
Ew.
nothing flavorful.
That's
That's
not gonna
bullshit.
do.
It's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh,
No.
yo, sign me up,
It's not.
please. Blasphemy.
I think it's pretty funny that you're saying what's on the ship, and I'm just sort of nodding, like, yeah, that'd probably be
Yeah, yeah.
Ven, I don't see Ven being very flashy without the little one spending money around her.
Yeah, exactly. No need.
That's why Mira spices up your life.
I guess I will ask whoever's in the room with us, how long have you guys been with Isaidus?
Why do you want to know?
Curious.
I don't give a shit about your curiosity.
Is it curiosity or is it envy?
I don't care what it is. I don't give a shit.
Not envy.
Your cereal tastes like shit, by the way.
That's fine.
I'm sure you have ways of fixing that.
I don't think there's really a way of accounting for poor taste. And Moria just kind of gives Ven this up and down look, like she's scrutinizing her.
Ben looks like 100% unaffected by it, like just sort of like, okay, at your point. She'll say, all right, not curiosity then, but assessing your abilities, since I am in charge.
She thinks she's in charge.
She's adorable. I know he said that you were in charge, but see about that? We, and I kind of gestured to Lara, we disagree. We've operated just fine without his little
Pet
thing.
project?
Appropriate term. You know what? I like that.
Huh.
Without his pet project being in charge. So we'll operate as normal. You can pretend to wear the crown when we go back, but you're not really in charge.
Ben just kind of like looks kind of like she's studying like off the far wall, kind of like, and then she just says, I wonder what Isaidus would say to that.
He won't know. Will he?
You hear a slight ding coming from the pilot robot, and you were expecting the robot's voice, but instead you hear familiar. You don't think I'm not watching, y'all, do you? Then it cuts off.
And Ven just sort of like tilts her head, sort of like, mm-hmm. Like the two.
At this point, I'm gonna say delve because it's easier to say than the purifier each time.
Yeah,
Delve's gonna like
That's
be walking. Delve's gonna be walking past with like cargo that he's meant to be carrying onto the ship, and he's just gonna stop and say, "The master is always prepared. You would do good to listen to him." And he just walks off.
You would help the pets stay loyal to their masters. Anyway, let's just get this underway so we can get our talents back to more important things and not a temporary distraction.
Yeah, hello. We are arrived in the atmosphere of Coruscant. Yeah. As right behind you is standing the black robed robot.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be over the loudspeakers like a pilot in the airplane.
I mean, it could be.
Okay,
while he's
please put your
sitting
seatbelt
right there.
on. We are about to descend. We are all straight up and in the upright positions. Please return your cereal to the cabinet.
Moria just kind of looks at, like, glances down at her own body because she's obviously not sitting down and buckled. And she just kind of looks at the droid. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Don't know why you're so surprised. I have been around the temple this whole time. Yes. Anyways, so turbulence, and you see a bit of turbulence that rocks Moria. Like as she has to like stumble and catch herself. There's a little bit of sass with the robot.
I approve of this robot.
But as the ship starts entering the atmosphere, then you guys can see over the digital windshield that is kind of in this common area. It's almost as if you're in the cockpit, being able to look out. You start seeing the familiar towers and city life of Coruscant. And out in the distance, you see the Pyramid Jedi Temple. And as the ship begins to approach, you hear over, "You are now entering Jedi space. Please identify yourself."
Yeah, so I'll go to the comms and
Please identify yourself, or you will be shot down by Coruscant military.
So I'll just say, this is Ven Morrison, Jedi Knight.
There's a bit of a silence. Master, Ben.
Sorry, what'd you say? You cut out.
You hear over the radio, kind of like a silence, and then it comes back. Master Ven.
Am I a master now?
She would be. It's been years, darling.
That's a Ven time. Okay.
You like that one?
Yeah. I went to power. Okay. Yeah. So I'll be like, I'm landing in the temple if you'll give me clearance.
You've pretty much been out of contact with the Jedi Council for a while now, after being raised and being quiet in your adventures. They were almost, some of them were worried that you might have even died. So this comes as a bit of a shock and a surprised visit. Yes, you're clear for entry. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Over and out, and the radio goes quiet again. And you guys are directed to the landing pad closest to the Jedi Archive, and land quite easily with no questions or anything like that. There are Jedi guards kind of set up at some of the entrances, kind of robed with their like white armor. and sabers at their side, but there's no like sense of recognition. There's no welcoming party. It's life is normal on the Jedi Temple. A few younglings walking around, but no one's quite paying attention too much to you guys. And you know from his directions that the helmet is in the Jedi archive room.
Okay. So a couple questions. Are people allowed to bring people to the temple?
Yeah, there's plenty of ambassadors that come here and meet. Off-worlders, as long as they're directed by a member of the Jedi Temple or a master, you know, or a knight. Basically, they're under your supervision. They must stay with you the entire time, but it's not uncommon to have visitors at all. Maybe in the archives, you might get a few eyes, but visitors are quite common here.
Okay.
At least in my game, because I said so.
I
I don't know if that's lore accurate or not, but it is in the timeline.
Basically Disney World, like anybody can come.
It works. It works.
Hey! Hi, welcome.
Have a ticket. Oh, Masterpad, I'm sorry. Please, yeah, it's free. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything.
You, sir, are too tall for every ride.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You,
100%.
ma'am, are too short. Yeah.
Purifier, like Delvine or whatever his name is, just like kind of slumps a little bit. Like his head goes,
No.
stops off. So
That's
sad.
great.
Okay. So is if like does everyone look evil or you know what I'm saying?
Sior just looks pretty chill, actually. Like,
I mean, honestly, anyone looking at Seahorn, God, I can't do it.
Sior.
Probably
Seahorn.
doesn't look any different than the looks they give Io.
Oh, there you go.
You can't see his
Makes
eyes, so Dell's getting a bit of a look, but I mean, at the same time, they're not opposed or they're not too surprised of Mandalorian warriors. I mean, they've maybe surprised that one's with you at the temple, but again, it's nothing like, oh, that's a threat.
Yeah.
Liara and Moria are given looks of like, that's weird companions, but again, nothing in the sorts of like, oh, these are Sith with a Jedi type of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Excuse me. How am I weird?
You see like a youngling trying to look around like a teacher's back, and the teacher kind of putting the hand up and Jedi don't dress like that. Let's go.
It's because y'all are kind of rude.
I'll say like I was probably thinking as like before we even got off the ship, I would probably say we walk in and we walk out. No antagonizing, no doing whatever it was your secondhand plan. No killing. Understand?
Well, you're the leader, so
Siorn gives a nod. It's like, yep, I got it.
Oh man, I want him to be my number two. Just kidding.
I mean, unlike them, he'll listen to the leader.
Cool. So I don't know. We can go.
So you direct them to stay undercover, and with a few side comments here and there, you don't really get more than a second glance from everyone. Mainly the young ones, kind of being curious at visitors and stuff like that. But no one that you come across that you recognize. There's a lot of new faces here. A lot of the teachers are probably younglings that had been joined after you had left and have grown to kind of like junior status, giving classes. You guys are able to quickly make it into the Jedi archive and are make your way to the back where they hold some of the artifacts. And greeting you is the old archivist there, curled over and with his walking stick. You see, the archivist is what I'm going to call him, because archivist, yes. But yeah, you walk back, and He looks at you and kind of nods. What a pleasant surprise, Master Pen. What can I do this pleasure?
So how big is the archives?
A
They're
large,
probably huge, aren't they?
Yeah, you're in the back section of the archive that opens up into a room where basically it's kind of like those like private banks where they'll bring to you like those boxes, almost like a room where you can look at the artifacts on your own in private, away from everyone, where they're held, kind of stuff. So it's kind of a room separate to where the archive is, and you're in the back section of it. He's kind of in charge of like the archive side of the artifacts.
Okay. So like you can't go yourself to go look at things, like they have to bring it to you? Is that how that works?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, you could try and attempt to find it, but there are thousands of artifacts, and he probably has most of it in his brain where they're at.
God, to have a memory like that. To have a memory like that.
Oh yeah, that's
I know, right?
People don't have force powers of combat, rather knowledge.
So I was hoping if I could study Revan's old helmet.
HR 781, yes. You have much history with her, yes?
Yes.
Very well. Come. And it's just slouched over, just kind of slowly walking. He kind of welcomes everyone into the room. I'll be back momentarily. He waddles out of the room, and about a good 10 minutes later, he comes in with a trying to think what they're called, almost like the foot lockers in the KOTR game, but they kind of like open up. So just a little bit.
I've heard the sound in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
I know,
exactly.
right?
That's exactly what I was thinking of. I just can't remember what they're called. So yeah, but he places it down, and he goes and punches in a couple codes to unlock it, to basically allow it to be opened. And you sense that this box is something that basically keeps within and shields from force seeing, like for people to try and scry on it and be affected by any of the force powers that are connected to these artifacts. So, and he just kind of stands.
Can you repeat that?
Basically, like this box was to shield it from people scrying to try and find it, like people like threats on the outside, and it also contains the power as well to make sure like no young Lynn is affected just by studying in the archive.
Okay.
Poor kid just trying to study for a test and getting affected by these artifacts in another room.
I know, right?
It's answer.
Turns out that's like the emo phase that a lot of kids go through in real life.
Right.
They just been accidentally exposed to a Sith holocron. They start dressing in black, dyeing their hair red.
Like it's just a phase. It'll pass.
It's not a phase. I'm a Sith Lord. This is who I am. I really believe that Kylo Ren is just going through a phase.
No, he's not, because he did.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. Okay.
So, Master Archivist
Spoiler alert.
Terr is what I'm calling him. Terr, Terr, is just kind of standing there,
Master Terr.
Wait.
allowing you guys to
Master
do whatever you want.
Archivist Turd?
Terr.
That's the
Yep.
Terr.
Turd.
So it's Master Terr.
That's the Terr.
That's much better. I was thinking it was TURD.
He seems pretty unaffected. He goes, I've heard worse in my years. Yes.
That's probably what the Padawans call him.
I didn't say that out loud, damn it. I know better than that. I was asking you out of character. The fuck was his name?
Everything
Why
you
I
say
put it in the
is,
chat?
is out loud, of course. Yes. We are in the game. Yes.
Bullshit.
So what do you guys do?
So he brings it.
And he stands, kind of just steps back, but standing there in the room, overseeing you guys.
Siorn will step closer to it to just kind of like look it over. Curious.
It's definitely cracked, and you see the battle wounds, and it's still scarred from the last battles within. But it's still intact, and there's this aura of both dark and light coming from it.
Intriguing.
There's a dark light. Is that what you said?
I'm saying like the
Light.
force, you feel both the dark and the light side of the force emanating from it.
Fun.
It was basically welded by Revan's will and control, but it could go either way.
Yeah, if she hid some artifact, is there any way I can sense that?
Can attempt to, sure. Roll me. You do what? Cunning or presence?
Presence.
Presence.
Yeah.
Roll me a presence check. First, roll the night.
Woo!
I forgot about rolling up to now.
I know, it's most imperative.
Hey.
Oh, that's all right. Y'all can get away with anything up to now. So.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
Okay. Which way is the little arrow?
It
4
is-
eats the 6.
Towards the die.
yeah.
Towards the.
Large side towards the 6.
Okay.
The
I
mouth
think I probably.
to the left. Mouth to the left.
Okay. I think I did it. I probably didn't.
Greater than Sumble.
There you
Yes.
go.
I did
Yay.
it.
Perfect.
Oh, that was a good roll too.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
You're definitely able to easily discern through the aura and the power of this. But over your years and your solitude, you've definitely mastered the force in new ways and are able to break through the kind of overwhelming control of this to find a small aura within the cap. Like if you're wearing the helmet, it'd be like a cap in the top part of the helmet. There seems to be a extremely dark aura, and it seems to be the source of the dark part of the helmet.
Interesting. And the guy's still there.
What do you do?
Oh, I don't know if you heard me.
I didn't.
To answer
he's
your
still there,
question,
but yes.
yeah.
He is still there.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the part.
I'm breaking in and out.
You are going a little bit staticky, yeah.
And now the curse of the DM has arrived.
Haha.
Oh, how do you get yourself out of the situation?
Just sit here. No, just kidding.
Right,
All
we're
night.
just-
Yeah, we just wait. He falls asleep. For
Yeah.
about 3 hours.
Sir, random question. It's rare that I ever come somewhere that has this much knowledge.
Yes. Quite. Your question?
I did, yes. Do you know where I might find the farthest explored out star charts that you have?
You kind of seem like racking a personal, almost like a teledex of
Rolodex?
his Rolodex. Yeah. That well, I mean, outer rim. No, well, the farthest out. It's T431. Probably be your best bet.
And that would be in that direction, or that direction, or
He goes to turn around and like has his back to you as he points with his stick towards the furthest aisle on the opposite side.
So the 4th floor, or like 3rd basement floor, or
Starts to look kind of quite confused as have you never been here before? First time, yeah, there's a map. If you grab the map in the beginning, you will know everything is.
oh, a map. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. I'm gonna go grab a map.
Then we'll be like, can you help her? I want a second alone anyway.
I mean, sure. And he goes to walk forward to grab the case as he's gonna leave the room.
Well, I meant like a second alone with this.
Well, you know the rules, Master, more than anyone here. Could I leave you unattended? As of such, I can grab a Padawan if you want. And he looks about to call someone over.
I'll just say, listen, I was there when she died, and kind of the reason why I wanted to see this was just a way to say goodbye. I just wanted a minute alone. I don't want. Do you understand?
And you kind of see the empathy and just in the confliction. I am terribly sorry of your loss, but rules are rules. You know that. I'm sorry. Only
I can't seem to find the right section. This place is huge.
turns his back to the three of you guys that he walks out, and he looks like he's about to call over a Padawan to assist Mira. Assist Liara.
Quick question: how easily would it be to knock him out? Like a swift, like really hefty, like smack to the back of the head with a.
I mean, you are a roided out Hulk implant versus probably the oldest Jedi here. It would not be a hard roll. You could probably roll all ones, and I'd be like, as long as you had one success.
Then
You could definitely try.
Sure,
Just do like a gentle karate chop to the back of its head.
Yeah, a gentle like beep.
So yeah, he's basically gonna like take a one step, raise his large fist, and just.
Jesus Christ, break his
So what would I need to roll?
Roll an attack. Roll a brawl attack.
That would be brawl. I need 6. I have 6. I have 6 in that. Yes, I do.
Is it left at the second aisle? And then the
Sorry.
right at the 14th?
Crocodile away from the.
It's a greater than symbol, people.
Crocodile
Come on.
away from the. Yeah, it's crocodile away.
Listen,
Public school
I'm bad
system,
at
guys.
math.
I mean, it's not
Every
like
time
we've
I
been
think
playing
I
this
remember
game
what
for how
the
many
right
weeks?
way is, I forget, and then I
That's
second
why you
guess
always
myself and
hear
think
me
it's the other
saying
way.
and the 4's eating the 6 every time I do it.
I feel like a couple times though, someone would say, "Yeah, it's eating it," and then I'd turn it the wrong way for some reason because I thought it looked more like a mouth the other way. So even the eating part doesn't really help me anymore because I just confuse
How does the
myself.
mouth look like? It looks
Basically-
like a closed mouth.
See, here's the thing:
Like a
is I'm pretty
beak.
sure, like in grade school, some kids were messing with me or something, and now it's gotten planted in
I
my
always
brain.
just see it as an alligator mouth that's wide open. So
Okay.
like the alligator's mouth is open
Y'all.
to the left.
I am urging you guys to watch this man's camera because I am losing my shit over here.
I can't see it. If I go on my computer, then it will
He
log me
just
out on
had
my
like
phone.
3 notebooks, a couple of D&D books open, like he's trying to read this fucking map. It was great.
So
It frequently shows me
Purifier.
more than you more than him. So I keep missing
Yeah.
what he's doing because it just keeps like showing your camera. I'm like, no, show me Ross.
If you click on
Click on the voice channel
voice
itself.
channel, it'll show all the
there we
active
go.
cameras. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, now I can see him.
I like it. Del,
Anyway.
your attack with such a low roll was quite accurate, but your finesse at how much strength you've held back is quite low. If you hear a and
Oh shit.
the Jedi Archivist falls with a pool of blood at
Oh.
his foot.
Someone's gonna
Sior
clean
just
that
looks
up.
straight at him. Like, what happened to no killing?
Oops.
Yeah, Ven's jaw just like drops.
You have better plan. No.
I was gonna shoot him
Sorry.
anyway, so
With Liara's previous yells at trying to figure out where to go and the archivist putting a hand up, you start seeing a Padawan girl start walking over that had then caught the attention of the commotion. Hadn't seen what has gone on since it's in the room, but starts running over. Like, oh, I can help you. I can help you. Sure.
This map.
I'll like
This has
I'll-
got to be the worst drawn map that I've seen in ages. All
Well, I
these
guess-
landmarks look the same. They're just bookshelves. It's just bookshelves after bookshelves.
As long as she's over there yelling and they're attracted over there.
Oh, I'm like over
She
by
never-
the main
She
information
never.
desk.
You never said that you were away from the room because you were
Yes,
trying
I
to get.
did. I said I was
You
going to
were
go
trying
and
to.
grab a map.
You were trying to get the archivist's attention.
I was going to grab a map.
You are
he
in
did
the.
say he was gonna go grab a map.
Yeah,
Hence
you
why I
were.
was yelling because I'm
Wait.
so far away from everybody.
Mm,
How
You
close
are-
is the Padawan?
I'd say.
Can we knock
Liara
people
is
out
about-
with the force?
You can definitely try. I'd say Liara is a good 30 feet away from the door because I'm putting my foot down that no one said she was far away and she was
30.
trying to get the archivist attention. So she is quite close to the room, though in a kind of in the middle of the hallway instead of over by the door. But the Padawan is starting to head over in that direction.
I say we try to knock her out with the force
You just
rather
made
than
Rob pout.
chopping her in the back of the head.
You made Rob pout.
Hey.
Like, he took
Bill
off his
is gonna-
glasses.
Hey, dark
Is,
side,
uh,
dark
Yeah.
side characters, dark side DM. Sorry.
Is
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I always forget how you pronounce your name.
See?
Siorn?
Orn.
Siorn? Okay.
Siorn?
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
I got it. Okay, Siorn. Is Siorn gonna try and knock her out with the force?
Yeah. What do you do? Roll for that kind of thing?
What are you trying to do?
Oh no.
I mean, are you trying to
Oh
take a
no.
book to the back of her head? Are you trying to constrict her airway? Like, describe to me how you're using the force to do this.
He's going to try to essentially choke her out till she passes out, but not to the point of killing her. Just like, you know how there's that line where you're just like, you're out cold, but if you like keep holding, then you die kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, I'd say having
Actually, no.
been working for this for a long time, you probably know that line very well.
Not her neck, but her chest. Like he's keeping her chest from being able to draw in breath so that like basically he's trying to catch her when she's exhaled so that she can't like draw in any more breath and just passes out from lack of oxygen. That must be sick.
If
Go ahead and roll me whatever your force category that you use.
What is that? How do I find that? It's like whatever I
Do you
use for his
do you use a
lightsaber.
lightsaber? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's his brawn. So that like melee attack or just brawl or just straight brawn.
You use the
Uh,
force with whatever. Is that what you're talking about?
I was gonna say straight brawn if you're a brawn force user, lightsaber user,
Yeah.
because it's your strength of trying to collapse around her chest.
Well, let's see how this straight brawn roll goes. Oh my gosh. That was
Oh,
bad.
that-
That's a big
I don't know about that.
that. That is what we call a no. A
Can I
very
just
big
point-
no.
Can I just point out Del was gonna start walking towards her? Could he still be walking towards
Sure.
her and that's it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Big behemoth mountain man walking towards her. Alrighty then.
While this
You-
is happening too, I am stuffing the mask in my cloak basically and starting to get up like, okay, time to go type of thing.
Sure. Sorry, Theorn. I'm going to rule this as
Oh god.
in the proximity of all of this, you weren't able to focus in properly. And you see her clutch her chest for a second and then like shake it off as if this Padawan is just able to resist your force attempt. You know, she's not sure what it is. And as this behemoth Dell walks out of the room, it's about the same time that her eyesight looks in. She stops in shock as she sees the archivist on the ground. Then you look up and see one of the last younglings that you taught as she activates her saber and puts up her hand. And what are you doing?
Who's that to?
Well, she said it to me.
To Ven.
Mhm.
Oh,
She sees the bloody archivist and a large soldier walking towards her and a Sith attempting force powers on her.
Yeah, it's not looking
And-
good for me.
Some
He
random
got
lady
jolted
yelling around on the
by-
other side of the, of the archive.
He got jolted by Del walking. The vibrations of him passing by threw off his focus.
Good job, big guy.
And as this is going,
Uh,
and the disappointment and shock that she says to you, you see her turn her head and yell, "Guards!" And everyone needs to roll initiative. You motherfucker who totally ruined this. No, not ruined it, but like rolled badly to get caught. I love it.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
I was like, I'll get in and out if you really want. Nope. So yeah, if you
Could have
could
been so easy.
move us to the Jedi Temple screen and we'll set up characters.
Boop, 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 boop. Working on
so-
it, dear. Boop.
We'll do 2 guards per person. And then some
The
sort of-
archives are down here at the bottom, by the by. Just as an FYI.
It's all black right now, but
nothing.
Ow. Why did that do the thing that it did? Alright, hold up.
Probably do this in 2 parts then, because it is starting to get late. And I know the boss fight will take a while.
yeah.
That's okay. We will have reasons for dark sidey bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I can maybe think a little bit more about what I want to do anyway.
Fab.
Yeah, bottom part of the screen.
Okay, so
The
just
bottom,
to
okay.
double check. When attacking with a lightsaber, do you add the number of dice for your lightsaber ranks and melee, plus whatever dice is used for that?
So yeah, it's whatever your lightsaber rank and the category you use with it. So if you use brawn, you do brawn plus your lightsaber skill.
Okay.
Da, 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 da.
Y'all gonna put out your tokens so I can set up this initiative order?
If I don't put out my token, it didn't happen. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not how that works, honey.
What? Why not? Okay. So we start out here.
I'll say this is the room that you guys were in, right?
Okay. So I was like
Yeah.
hanging out right now.
Girl, it's probably about
Here.
here.
You're fine. All I'm doing is just adding turns right now.
And then
That's not how we type.
It's like my favorite song.
I know, right?
So much.
like I told her, like, whatever we do, this song will play at some point in the night.
You were not wrong. I'll give you that. So 13. Zero.
Da, 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 Thank you.
Wow, that is true dark side right there.
Super dark Sith. You are truly deserving of your title, Darth Vader.
I definitely feel like if my husband was here and he read this, he really would be like, "You monster."
I mean,
One time we were at someone's house who they had a collection of movies and they were all out of order, and Mark was fidgeting for like 20 minutes staring at it. And it wasn't even his house, we were at someone else's house. And finally he's like, "I'm sorry." And he just got up and like went and fixed it.
Rob, you monster. Rob. This is just too much. I can't.
It's
I
one thing to
cannot.
kill the oldest archivist with the most knowledge of the Jedi Temple, and then try to attack.
Robert, no.
I mean, all things
This
considered,
is
that
too
would be a pretty good blow to the Jedi.
What if Isaidus's big plan was to just make all the books out of order?
This is
That
your
would be
true
awesome.
intention, making me study. Please. All the younglings will read the wrong books.
You had a nice
Recreate.
villain laugh, by the way.
Oh, I
Rob.
love my
Got it
villain
down
laugh.
pretty well.
It's my favorite.
You wanted dark side. You're gonna have dark side.
Not the end of the book. No. No, you
Robert,
monster.
why?
No, what you should have done was write the ending in the first section of the book, like on the
Spoil it.
inside.
I actually had a book where like the last 3 chapters were missing. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was so
That's so
angry.
sad.
That is the
So
worst
mad.
feeling
I
in the
found
whole world.
the book in the chapters, and I quickly read the last few chapters. 'cause I was down.
Oh, Rob, why? Why you spoiled the things that you do?
And all was
Dumbledore
well.
freaking dies. You were supposed to bring balance to the Force.
It's not about the Jedi or the Sith. All will crumble under my rule. And how was he brought to the dark side? He was spoiled with Harry Potter.
Harry Potter
Yeah.
had him witchcraft.
I know, right?
I'm also gonna start going through and finding different books and slightly modifying the titles of the books.
I love it.
You are such a troll.
It's made even funnier with the music.
I know. It's like this is so dramatic.
So just picture this, if you will. Dramatic
Instead
fighting
of,
Jedis.
Instead of Catcher in the Rye, it's gonna be Catcher and some guy.
Oh, no.
Rob,
Dramatic
why?
fighting. Dramatic
What
fighting
made you
Jedis.
like this? Who hurt you?
I'm trying to just get rid of this thought because it's actually killing me. I hate this. Everything in my room's in order, and everyone comes in and tries to mess it up.
Rob, who hurt you? Do we need to
Dell's
hug
gonna
it
start freaking out
out?
about books in a minute.
Are you gonna do what the shit? Why? Rob, why? Why? Guys, someone hurt Rob.
What is he
Guys.
throwing?
He threw cards and now he's just throwing random shit. Who hurt
Don't
Rob?
Mike.
The
Michael,
military.
Blame Mike.
Michael, look what we did. We broke Rob. Oh
Oh,
no.
This is going to push you guys past your limits.
Rob, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
It's time to
Rob,
break a pet.
Rob.
What's he doing?
Rob. You
Oh, no.
monster.
Well,
Put these videos in timeout and distracting her from setting up the fight.
I think he was set up at Rob. He hasn't rolled initiative.
Where are the Jedi guards?
Oh, yeah. I should probably pull these guys out.
And maybe an
Debo?
icon for the girl.
We'll just say that that's a girl, okay? And then, guards,
We're waiting for you.
guards, I was distracted. Somebody I
No.
care about was hurt. I was trying to figure out who hurt him. I was being a good friend. I just heard things clatter. I'm so scared. What's going on? Okay. Do you need me to put out more Jedi guards?
I'd say 2 per person.
Okay. 2, 4, 6,
That's
Question
10.
is, will we actually get 2 people per person, or will people like Dell just plow through like 5 of them?
Yes.
I figured you
It
guys are going to
has-
make easy work of these Jedi, so don't worry.
Has the flamer. Where's the exit by the... Oh, they're
Straightforward.
between us and the X.
Yes.
Oh, it's to be expected. I mean, really.
So many cards on the floor.
I am so.
That was the
you
part I
have
was
no
waiting
idea.
for Rob to be like,
So many cards on
and
the
now I gotta
floor."
clean them.
I feel bad because I kind of have the urge to go and clean them up myself. Because I feel like I contributed to this.
No, he made his own choices. You don't need to feel bad.
There's cards all over the place.
Will you roll your fucking initiative?
I'm not in the fight. I don't even know if fight's going on.
That
right
is very
there.
true.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Fine.
See,
I will.
see-
I will roll my initiative.
See, the thing is, they probably actually don't know that. Hey, I'm really for some reason. This is useful.
And at least gives you a turn to do shit, damn it. Just humor me.
You were doing so well.
Oh, yeah, I need to roll their initiative too. Jesus Christ.
You railed so bad.
Bye.
Okay. So you have to. Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you. You're the best. I love you. And 26. I mean, that makes sense for the Jedi to go first, because they were kind of alerted to your bullshit. Ow. Descending. Yeah.
What's he wearing?
I'm not even looking, so I don't know. Oh.
I was so expecting Rob to reply, even if it's not true, nothing! My friend actually did that once. We all agreed to do a call on Facebook. And I'm sorry if I'm derailing, but we all then did a video call. Wow, dramatic music for this dramatic story. And he said, right, I just need to change. And then after like 10 minutes, we were like, okay, dude, what are you wearing? He went, nothing! And like, that's when all our cameras turned on and we were like, no!
Lord.
That's
Welcome back. We're just watching
Thank
Rob
you.
clean up his mess.
Cool. So we're good to battle?
I mean,
good.
technically,
I'm hoping
But,
the
like-
dice roll better.
Rob can do whatever the fuck he wants.
So you guys see as the girl, her action is to look over her shoulder and call the guards, and she looks back in just shock and disappointment in you, Ven. The rest of the guards all, I'll say, take their movement, like kind of starting to encircle everybody. Probably, especially not knowing the situation, won't attack this round, but they'll attempt to encircle
Yeah.
as much as they can. Lightsabers out. Some of them double bladed, but they're all yellow, and they're I can put the image in the group, but their armor is all white with brown like trees on them.
Ooh, pretty.
So as she does that, Morio will be next. So whenever she's done, let her go. Oh, I don't even know where the photo of this one is anyway.
Wait, no, that one needed to come down. One more. Okay. I think I moved everybody because yeah, they're not focusing on the Twi'lek in the corner because she didn't do a damn thing.
All right. So Angie, what is Darth Morio
That
doing?
they know of yet.
You monster. You fucking troll. Alright, Moria's just gonna kind of look over at Ven because honestly she's amused by what happened. It really doesn't bother her. And she just kind of smirks over at Ven and goes, well, so much for no killing. And she will light her blades. Both of them are blood red. And she has two of them. And she is going to go up here and take a slice at this mofo.
For it. Roll me attack.
Ah! I don't know how to spell. Hold on.
Yeah, that definitely hits. You're able to definitely take them by surprise as they're not expecting really attackers.
Rob. Okay. And that does... What's it?
How much damage?
13.
All right. As you slice upwards, you slice the entirety of the guard in half. And then you look in shock as you turn your head over. And as the guard fall apart, you see circuitry instead of blood. Luckily, these are robots.
Robots.
I feel better.
Robots.
Robots.
The question is,
I mean,
does
there's still
Ven
the
feel
one
better,
girl.
Or does Rachel feel better?
Well, Rachel. Well, Ven too. Ven isn't like
Oh,
all
yeah.
evil yet.
Well.
Okay. The one with the pink dot is the girl, by the way.
You doing any other actions?
Nope, that is it.
Oh, all right.
Because I am awesome.
Liara, what are you doing?
Did I happen to notice all those guards running by?
No. Of course you did.
No, never.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
totally did. You totally did. What are you? Oh.
We'll go ahead
Surprise,
and move
motherfucker.
over there. And we'll go ahead and get Talon and Maul out here.
Yeah.
Fun names.
Had to change them.
It makes sense.
Then Talon's going to go like right over here. And let's see here. Lyra is going to shoot that one. And Talon is going to shoot at that one and that one.
Nice. Roll
Yeah.
me some attacks.
Lyra shooting first with her disruptor rifle.
Oof, just missed.
That's a crit.
Yeah, it definitely hit.
No, totally missed. 100%.
And how far away am I from him exactly? because that will play a part in this. Oh, 30 feet! Haha, look at that! Oh, dear God.
Is this her
Calculator.
monologue?
Okay. So that one that I just shot at takes 71 points of damage.
Obliterated into thousands of pieces as it just explodes.
And then first shot that was going at this guy from Talon. Is also a crit.
What a surprise, that hits.
Totally
And
missed.
a second explosion of parts, and as you hit the back of the Jedi, their sabers fall and the different body parts flying. And Ben, this is so
Which
bizarre
one?
for you, as
Yeah,
you're
totally.
seeing literally Jedi guards that you've been around explode, but it's a shock, and then all of a sudden, there's no blood.
That's 80 points of damage.
Jesus, which
I
one?
figured when you said it crit, it's gone.
And
Which one?
on this one.
Okay, just making sure I
That
marked the
one.
right one. I still
And then
have to
the
do all the
other
fucking
shot-
work.
And then the other shot is at this one.
Do it.
Do it.
Jedi.
Let's see here, which is another crit, I believe.
Only need one to crit.
Only need one.
Voice.
That works.
And, paired weapons. So reduces successes needed to hit by one to the target.
Well, there you go.
As
Um,
go ahead.
So that'll be another 80.
Yeah, as
Also
this
the-
time a giant hole in just the chest of the
Sorry.
Jedi guard.
70. 70. Not 80. 40
Oh, well.
plus 30.
It's still alive then. No, it's big. A giant hole is in this Jedi as it slumps over to its knees and stops moving. All right. Anything else?
This looks like so much fun. And that'll be my turn.
Oh, she's adorable.
I'm gonna grab the girl around the throat.
Give me
So what do I need to roll?
brawn, right?
I
Brawn?
believed it would be brawl, technically, because that's like hand-to-hand combat.
Really have a thing up. Let me pull up these. Melee, right? Oh yeah, brawl. There.
Okie
Well,
dokie.
I told you so.
Oh,
Thinking
boy.
brawl was just a characteristic.
Wow,
1,
straight
2, 3,
successes.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You going to a lethal damage or non-lethal damage?
No, I'm grabbing her, holding her against my chest, and aiming the flamer at her.
Holy fuck.
Wow.
We leave or she dies.
And
So this is
that's
just a grapple, you're not actually firing it. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not firing it. No. She's our ticket out of here.
Okay. All right. We shall see how they respond on their turn.
I guess. So that takes a 2 Vin.
The chaos is unfolding before you. What do you do?
Let's see.
You just hear the
Well-
strange choking of the young Padawan against the Punisher's, the Purifier's chest.
Punisher was right. Punisher was right.
Not wrong.
I think I have air purifier every time I say it. I'm like, loses
Which
his
is
luster.
funny because he's
like the
choking
little
a
wall-
girl.
Like the little wall plug-in that like does a little spray every time you
Yep.
walk by it.
Which is why it's so funny that he's stopping, a girl from enjoying purified air. So, it works.
Oh no.
See,
So I guess I will say to Dell more like I'll go up here and say it more to just him so that the robot people won't hear
Jedi
me.
Guard. Yeah.
And then I'll just say do not kill her. Ease up a bit.
He's not getting her like around the throat exactly. He's like holding onto her robes.
Yeah.
He's making sure that he's got like a really good grip on her.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And
I think more than that. Moriarty would be too busy, but would Ven, who I don't know who would be able to sense it, but Ven, especially if she's focusing on him, would feel a sense of regret and remorse for what he did.
okay.
I'd say, yeah,
Um,
you guys have battled by each other's side plenty enough that you pick up on
mhm.
that no one else does. No one else
Okay.
cares how he feels.
So sad. Okay.
Just don't care about feelings.
Yeah.
It's true, though. Like,
So get up,
Sorry.
Buttercup. We got something to do. Yeah.
I think I want to force push a few of these away.
Sure.
Um
Definitely allow it. Give me a roll to see how far they get pushed.
sure. Jimmy,
I've-
what would you like me to roll? I think you roll. Sorry, I haven't done this in a while. I think is it ranged?
I believe we did ranged for it.
Yes. Ranged with
I want to convince me to roll
Presence.
skullduggery. Go for it. I mean, at this point, it's whatever you feel like are the best skills.
Okay. All right.
Skullduggery.
This is not the big
Lord.
fight that I'm trying to take you guys down with. So
They said there's an error with my formula. What the heck?
we're trying
What did you do?
I've never got that message before. I don't understand.
Rachel, why?
I don't get it. Okay, now I did it. Ooh.
Oh, ooh.
Wow, look at all those ones. I mean, my heart isn't in it. It makes sense.
as you reach out and try to tap into the light side of the force, the push that you've come so accustomed as your signature move, the voice, almost like a whisper of Isaidus, but more darker than that. Something you know quite well, the dark side. The force whispering to you, let it go. And you falter a bit as you see them kind of get strained to push back a little bit, and they get pushed back about a foot or two, but you kind of falter as in your concentration and your connection to the light side as you start
Good.
kind of feeling the stripping away and the hesitancy of and the draw of the dark side.
I like it. Okay. And then I'll say, get to the ship now to them.
To the chopper! Sorry.
I'm done.
Sorry.
Wait,
Okay, to
can
the
I move
chopper.
forward a little bit without getting hit? Here? No? Here?
Sure. Yeah. No one swings
Okay.
at you.
Okay.
Okay.
Siharn?
Okay, so could he have his banshee attack first and then go for himself?
Definitely.
Okay, so he'll have her. You'll just see her. Oh no, it froze. Oh no. Okay. Everything
Y'all.
briefly froze.
Why y'all gotta cause such a crisis? Oh my god.
Anyway, so you'll see the banshee just like detach from his shoulders and kind of fly up and over him to attack the dude right next to them. She has basically. So
Rob, why? Why are you like this?
so her first claw attack coming in.
Because soldiers
Is-
pissed me the fuck off today. That's why.
Apparently. God damn.
Eventually it'll go through. There we go. It's her
Jesus
first claw. Oh my god!
Christ.
That
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Holy shit.
she only needed 3 to crit.
She double
So-
critted.
So Seahorn, as you give the signal to allow Wraith to attack and you fly out, it finds purchase in the neck of this guard in front of you, and your face is splattered in blood as your Wraith has bitten through the artery of the one true guard that was here
Oh
in charge of the robots. As it
Oh
just
my God,
starts
the
chawing
poor
and does not finish until half of the neck is missing. You are covered
she's
in
had-
dark, warm blood, and just you hear a as Wraith takes the final bite into his spinal cord.
Well, she's had her lunch now. She's good.
Right? Always feed your pets, ladies and gentlemen.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the guard's head rolls to your feet, Seorn. What do you do?
Now that
Yeah.
she's done that, he's gonna move over and attack this guy. Let's see how well that
Christ.
goes for him. So he's
Didn't
gonna strike with his lightsaber.
For it.
It's thinking deeply.
Well,
One,
success.
2, 1.
that's one.
One!
This was a human, I would say it'd probably be in so much shock that it wouldn't be able to defend. But as being a robot, it instinctually goes up, and you see in textbook form the lightsabers clash, and it holds your attack at bay.
Being double bladed, it has a second attack he can do, right?
You got it.
All right, so he's gonna go in again. Hopefully, better results this time. Oh my god, why is he so fucking cursed?
That's a 0,
1,
yo.
2, 3.
Fucking
wow.
Wraith took everything.
Wow.
Wraith took all your
Yeah, she
momentum.
stole your thunder.
I'm really sorry, guys, but I need to go because it's 3 o'clock and I need to be up early tomorrow.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's
you're really not missing much in this fight, anyways.
But I
Yeah.
just want to say, Michael, if I can do what I want to do, you know what to do.
Won't be in this fight. We're gonna do a
Okay.
2-parter. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
finish
it'll
this.
be
in
We'll
a-
two-parter.
finish it another time.
But
Sorry, guys.
well understood. Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night. Hope you had
Good
fun.
night.
Good night.
I am loving this. Good night.
The
See you
drama.
tomorrow.
Right. I was gonna say after this round, it'll be the top of the initiative, and we could call it there. That way, it's a safe spot to end.
I think Rachel said she's good until 9:30, right?
Yeah, I'm okay till 9:30 if you want to finish this fight off. But if other people have
It's
to go,
not gonna.
that's okay too.
It's not gonna take this long. Yeah, you guys should be able to finish this and get back to the ship. So, yeah.
I
Alright.
mean,
I mean, depending on what you guys do.
Right.
No, let's like
going.
tour the temple.
Order
Vacation.
66, Anakin.
Let's steal some books.
Kill the
That'll
younglings.
really piss.
I mean, I had to put a youngling in here. I wasn't thinking y'all were gonna kill it, but all right.
I mean, not Io. Siorn did try to knock her out, and the dice were like, no.
I love it. No, I love it. I mean, like all of this was like it was a curious like experiment for me. I was like, I want to see how dark they're gonna go, and it's just gonna be like challenges of like, well, what do you do? Like, it not necessarily had to be combat, but just like the balance of good versus evil. Like,
Mhm.
okay, put in situations in roadblocks and be like, well, how are you going to get around it? You know, are you going to go full evil and just like, you know, murder everyone, or like think around it? And so yeah, that was like, no matter what,
Good
that
versus evil or just chaotic?
Yeah, true.
Yes,
yes,
I
That-
feel like I more meet chaotic.
you are definitely chaotic.
hey, I mean that's we never said these guys are true Sith. This is just Isaidus' way. He doesn't care if it's chaotic; it's strength.
Yes.
Cool. I like it. So yeah, so unfortunately you do not activate Link.
It's just sad.
So sad.
Hopefully, his next attack will actually work. Oh yeah,
Pretty
I guess
much.
Wraith should actually move before, so she'll just float over here. But like kind of maybe like a few feet like high in the air.
I like it. I love it.
Yes.
Just blood dripping down from its face, like looking
Yeah,
at you and disappointment.
She moved like 10 feet over and then like 15 feet up.
Love it. I love it.
Hopefully out of
Um,
range.
So yeah, the girl attempts to kind of flail around and try and swing her lightsaber and hit Dell, but the way he's holding her, she's unable to, and she drops her lightsaber. I'm gonna say at this point, the rest of the guards, seeing the hostage and it being a protocol versus a like a subjective decision, their protocol knows that something's in threat. So each of the guards step back.
I am working on it. Hold on.
They're an older model. They process slower. So
And don't worry, they're gonna step.
They were not
So-
made by Lyra.
it's so weird to DM without control. Like it's like, how can I describe it in a way to tell Angie what to do and narratively like tell you guys?
You're doing good.
But yeah,
I
they
know. I
kind
keep
of
expecting you to do shit. And I'm like, oh wait,
Right?
no, that's me.
yeah, they kind of clear the pathway, basically, like kind of try like, and they're gonna follow you guys out as you move. As in, like, we're still on guard, but we know there's a life at danger, and we're not gonna threaten it. That's like their protocol.
Needs to got really somber for this.
I know, right?
So
Right.
Moria, as they back up and listen to Ven, as Ven still technically is the falling of the masked Ven. As I'm
Right.
sure after this, her
Oh,
privileges.
my
will-
status is revoked. Why?
I don't understand. Why?
Oh,
Such
look
a
at me!
good-
Just because
I
I'm
was
hanging
so
out with bad
nice.
friends.
Yeah.
So, Darth Moria, what do you do?
She is going to just kind of straighten herself up.
You weren't
They're-
expecting robots. You're expecting blood, and you're
Yeah.
the excitement of killing a Jedi is just kind of taken out of it when it's not really a Jedi.
Yeah, it's just kind of, oh, well, that was anticlimactic. And she just kind of looks disappointed. Before she just kind of looks at you, Ven, and deactivates her sabers and puts them on her belt because this is just no fun. She just kind of vaguely gestures for you to just lead the way because her fun's gone now.
I mean, there could be very notes. They would just be very sad.
As he let me go, and we returned to the temple to explain what happened. I
Alright.
was sitting here looking at the footage of the fallen Ven. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Sorry, what was your?
She-
last one?
She's basically disappointed because this is not the battle that she wanted, so she's just like, well, fuck, this is no fun. And is pretty much ready to leave now.
Do you go forward or you're kind of waiting for someone else?
I'm gonna wait for everyone else.
Still available. Oh, okay. Cool. All right, so that'll be Lyra.
Yep.
So, whenever I killed those three, did I happen to notice that they're robots?
No. Yeah, 100% did. You were expecting bloodshed and
And it was
gore.
like oil and gears.
Ah,
Out of out of everyone would instantly see this. Yep.
robots. Thought the Jedi would have better security than this.
Oh no,
And I would like
their ways
to-
are quite archaive and ancient.
I would like to take control of the robots.
Of course, dearie. Why do you think I gave you robots in the first place?
Am I the only one
Roaming.
who went right to Mass Effect 2 and assuming direct control?
I
You know
love it.
what? I feel like it sort of was like in my head, but when you said it, I realized.
See? It's just there.
It's there.
I love it. Why is this music so sad for this, though?
Control.
Very tense situation.
Very
And
tense.
roll.
I love how Rachel.
Roll
What?
Roll your computer stingy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what else would it be?
I'm
Um,
just
that your roll?
asking. I was just asking.
I don't know how this shit works. Y'all just roll when he has a lot of successes, and then we get shit for the PPP. I don't know.
is that
I
how
like
you see it? Just
I am
rock?
veering. I don't understand any of this shit.
I love how you just explain it as Rob rolls, he wins, and we get everything. It's
Yeah,
like,
I was
okay.
like, he can't. I mean, he's not gonna lose because I know he gets successes automatically. Like, he had to roll like a 3.
I think there was one time he didn't get a check.
I was gonna
And
say
even
if you just get all ones, then sure. But
Yeah, I think you got a ton of ones one time, and you were like, "Looks like they amped up security." And we were like, "Oh,
Oh shit!
Lyra.
No, it's not a 9 total. My bad.
What is it?
it's
What
more.
is it?
It's an 11 total.
hey, there we
Mike,
go."
you called it.
So, Lyra, you were expecting a little bit of a firewall, a little bit of resistance, and then you go to put in their user password, and it's just Jedi123. You're so disappointed.
Terrible.
You don't even.
It's swordfish.
You don't even
It's always
enjoy.
swordfish.
It is always swordfish.
As you punch in the code to hack into not only the robot security, but the Jedi Temple itself, you hone in on these robots specifically, and as you make the last line of code and press enter, you look up, and a second later, the eyes of the Jedi guards glow red, and their sabers turn from yellow to red.
Yes.
His gesture of success was great.
All right, so that's your
I had a
turn.
mouthful of
Right?
beef jerky.
I noticed it was cute.
What do you command of them then? Do you
The
want
ones
to
in the
wait till
sea.
your next turn?
The ones in this immediate room.
That would
Or
be your
all of
command
them?
this turn. I mean, you have access to all of them, but I'll say this turn you can give a command to the immediate ones. Next turn you could do more if you wish with the security of the Jedi Temple.
I would like for the ones that are alive to form, because I see 5 of them, right? I'd like them to form a line right across here.
I'll do that in 1 second.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm using the Force to move the tokens with my mind at the moment.
Wow.
Thank you. I know. I'm going brother. It's the DM power.
And they are going to be our escorts to our ship. And I'll give the next ones more commands later on.
Alrighty then.
Dell simply takes the girl and seeing the change in the robots, will immediately just give a side glance to Ven, and in one motion takes her and throws her into the bookcase next to them, enough to kind of take the wind out of her and slump her down to the floor. She looks pretty winded. And then he will start to march forward. His movement out of the room.
Big guy, you could have just brought her with us. She was going to be a new part of my sex dungeon. Damn it!
Jesus.
Rob, we need to have talks.
Yeah, and basically, Lyra, as you hit another code, you just hear this march music. As you have your escort in front of you. As you, of course, have hacked Dell's armor. He has speakers, of course. So, yeah, so that's his turn. Then you now have a procession of dark Jedi guards.
Oh my gosh. Are we close to our ship?
Yeah, I'd say it's a couple hallways away.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'll just be like, let's go. We're done here. And I'll start walking out.
Cool.
1, 2, 6.
At this point, I'm guessing is well, Seahorn, are you attacking anything or are you just following out?
He makes a little whistle noise and Wraith flies and lands back on his back again, and then he just follows behind everybody.
Who is making that noise? Is it Mike or is it you?
It's not me.
Both.
It would be Michael.
Originally it was me. Not that time though.
Wait, who was? Oh my god.
I mean, there's only one other male in this call, so yeah.
I mean, I could try to practice making wraith noises.
Are you?
It doesn't help that I can see his expression, so that kind of tells me everything.
But yeah, so you guys are able to easily make it out of the hallway to the ship as the guards split and guard and almost in like a welcoming or departure party. You look around, Ven, and you see the horrified and shocked eyes of younglings and young Padawan teachers, but no one is even. They're just so much in shock at what's happening that no one's even moving to stop you guys.
I was just Seor's just coated in blood. I just remember.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
in shock. As the rest of them, one by one, make it onto the Evan Cobra, you take one look back at your former home and come.
I have one thing that I would like to do as we start taking off.
Oh, you're not taking off yet, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'll let you do that in 1 second. As you turn around, one singular Jedi Master that you recognize comes running out, saber activated, and you look back and see Liara. Is that her name, right? Is I saying that right? The one, yeah.
Yep.
The one that started our whole adventure. Why?
That's what she says as we're about to leave.
Yeah, you're like everyone's starting to walk onto the ship, and you're basically one step on as you kind of paused, almost to look back, but also you sensed her running up.
Okay.
And the guards hadn't done anything, but she ran up and stopped, and kind of almost in disappointment she kind of like her arms and saber falls to her side, and you just hear this. Just why?
She's not angry. She's just disappointed.
Exactly.
Dang it! Cowboy got CD lamb. Sorry. No. Anybody but the Cowboys. All right. Sorry. I'm back in it.
I think I would just say I'm sorry. Less death this way. And I'll leave.
Just deactivates her saber, and you walk onto the ramp. And as you take off, Rob, what do you want to do?
Command all the droids to go fucking crazy.
Oh, goddamn.
You mean like to start killing people or what?
Yeah, just cause chaos.
As they all go in to attack Liara, she puts two hands out and throws these guards off the kind of hangar bay or whatever it's landing pad. So those five go falling. But you know, since you can still see in the cameras, there is chaos everywhere as the guards have now turned on the students and Jedi Masters, and it'll be
If
quite
I
a
see
cleanup.
that, can I tell her to turn it off? Like as it starts?
I doubt you'll see
After
it.
a few seconds? Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'd be like, turn it off.
I mean, if you see it, I don't know if you
I
would.
thought you said I didn't see it. I did see it. I'm
No,
sorry.
I doubt you would. I think this would be kind of like
Oh, okay. Never
her
mind. That's
punching
fine.
in code and
Sure.
just kind of leaving a chaotic.
I didn't know if I saw it
gift.
out the
Just
window
like,
or something.
you know,
yeah.
just-
No, everything would bend inside. Yeah.
Okay. You're good.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I don't care out of character. I just if I saw it, I would have her do it, but she didn't see it. So
Right.
oops.
I'm not sure how
Well-
long it takes, but officially, Van Morrison's title of master is most likely stripped from the records that day, as many tell the tale of the fallen Jedi who killed Archivist Hare.
Yep.
You have one defender. No one listens to the young Padawan who wasn't killed that day. So, yeah, that is where we will end this.